So, in the meantime, if you see me or other people with white shirts running up and down to the booth, we also have around 80 people online following this. And we're doing this the first time, so we're trying to figure out how to actually do that. Come on.
Thanks, Robin. Hi, everyone. We all angel investors, VCs, the startup companies. Very good morning. Very good afternoon, actually, to all of you. I'm Desmond. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer for Bounty, Bounty Arena, and also the big logo. So both for Bounty Arena and also for Bounty. And later on, you'll be seeing me on stage as well, pitching for my startup Bounty. But really, today, I want to welcome everybody to Bounty Arena. We started this space 6 months ago. It's meant for a space for gamers to come in, to chill, to relax. And we make this stage area for competitive gaming. As you can see, we have 5 versus 5 PCs on this stage. So it's a plug and play for any events, tournaments. Instead of building up your own infrastructure and getting your own production crew to come in, we do a plug and play system right here. So in future, if you do have any esports tournaments, or if you want to do any esports tournament, you could swing in by Bounty Arena. And also this space, we made it in such a way that you could do corporate events as well. So we have had Oracle, GSK, P&G, we have done several events. They have do tech discussion, panelist discussion, presentation in this area. As long as you have the event, you require a big LED screens, nice LED screens like this, approach us. So this is on Bounty Arena side. All right. And other than that, I want to thank Robin and the Startup Buddy and all the team. Thank you very much for having an event here and bringing you guys here. All right. With that, I will talk to you guys later because we have a pitch to go on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, so welcome everybody here in the room and online. I'm Robin Turnings. I'm founder CEO of the Startup Buddy. We're a company here based in Singapore. And I'm first going to explain what we do and then why we're organizing this and what the program is. So I'm a Dutch guy. I studied public policy and public administration at the University of Twente. After that, I became a consultant. I worked for companies like Accenture and ING Bank back home in the Netherlands. And I really like water sports, so I play water polo for Queenstown, which is the current champion here in Singapore. And I dive as well. Something that might be interesting about me, I did a speech at the UN when I was 21. So if you're curious, just try to find it still on the internet somewhere. I want to explain a little bit how I actually got into investing. When I was 11, I read a book. When I was 11, I read a book called Remy Alone on the Planet. And it's about a boy in Paris who joins a street artist group. And they go around Paris and basically make money that way. So I read that book a few days before King's Day in the Netherlands. And I know there's at least 1 or 2 Dutch people here. So all Dutch people know that's basically a very big flea market and a very big party. So people put all their old stuff on the streets and then try to sell it. So I figured I just read the book. I'm going to play my flute and try to make some money. And I did. I actually made 12 guilders in 1 hour, which is around 18 Singapore dollars, and I was 11 years old. So that was a huge amount of money. So I figured I'll continue doing that. So after about a year, I made about around 2,000 guilders, and I told my parents, I'm going to buy this huge stereo. Because I'm a brother, he's 9 years older, he had one too, so I wanted one. My parents said, no, you're 12, you're not getting a 2,000 guilder stereo. So they said, okay, you can get this transistor radio, and then we do something smart with the rest of the money. So I invested in a company called CMG over here. It was an IT integrator. 5 years later, that IPO'd on the Dutch Stock Exchange, and I made a return on investment of around 2,000%. So that actually got me started to invest on the Dutch Stock Exchange. I went through the internet bubble. I've had all the crashes ever since. And when I was 21, I started doing angel investments. So my first angel investment was Behold, the company that's still there on the top right. I actually read last week when I was preparing this, they've been bought out by Microsoft. I was already out, unfortunately. Since then, I've been investing in companies like Think Capital, ITpreneurs, and FusionWave. So this is how I slowly got into entrepreneurship and into investing. Now I'm the founder CEO of the Startup Buddy. And the Startup Buddy is an online accelerator and fundraising platform. What we aim to do is change the way startups are built by entrepreneurs, and in the process also make fundraising easier and more accessible to other investors. When I was investing on the stock exchange, I was used to looking at graphs like this. And this is the actual graph since I started for the AEX in Amsterdam. And then I got into the startup space, and all of a sudden, everybody was walking around with pitch decks. And that was very confusing to me, because a pitch deck, you can make up whatever you like, and it's very subjective. And founders complain about it because they have to keep updating them all the time. Then they go to investors, and the investors never tell them no, but they also don't invest. So it's actually very frustrating for the entrepreneurs. But for the investors, it's actually kind of the same, because they have to go through hundreds of pitches a year to actually find 2 or 3 maybe good deals. So it doesn't work on both ends. And then more importantly, the information in those pitch decks is very subjective, as I already said. Investors know this, so they take a long time to actually do due diligence on the companies. But as an investor, I know that in the end, investors will invest in any good opportunity they can get their hands on, as long as they have access to reliable information about the potential investments and they understand what it is about. Now, I already said my career started at Accenture and ING and corporates like that. When I started those jobs, it was really easy. Like, they told me what day to come in. That first day, I would get an access card, I would get a login to the computer. Maybe a week later, the manager would make time for me to actually explain me why I got the job. And after about 2 months, talking at the coffee machine, I knew who mattered in the company, who didn't, and I was good to go and do my job. Now, when I started my startup, none of that actually happened. I was sitting there in my study room, figuring out how to start a company. And I didn't know how to get started the first day. I didn't know how to get started the second week. I didn't actually know how to get started after a couple of months. Probably the only person who even knew I was trying it was my wife. And this goes for almost any other entrepreneur trying to start out, because there's a lot of new skills that you have to learn. And if you don't have the support in your environment that actually can teach you how to do that, you're stuck by yourself. So we as a Startup Buddy, we want to give you a launching pad to learn how to become an entrepreneur. Basically do the onboarding for entrepreneurs when they start new companies, which is why our platform is totally open. As you know, everybody can sign up and start building a company. There's a lot of companies that will probably never get to a production stage or to actual traction. That's not really our goal. We want to help as many people as possible to build startups, and only at the stage that they get interesting for investors, then we look at that part of the puzzle model. The Startup Buddy for entrepreneurs is basically a DIY platform. So we don't perform classes, we don't do 3-month programs, we don't have mentorship tracks that you have to go into, but we also don't take your equity. So you just log in, you use it, and you use everything that you need from it. The business model for the Startup Buddy is based on the data model of the Startup Buddy is based on the information that typically investors like to know about companies once they get to the stage of fundraising. So when you're building your business through the Startup Buddy and you log in regularly and you use the toolkits or you interact with the mentors and things like that, in the process, you're creating a time series and a timeline of how your company is progressing over time. Very similar to how you, for example, every year get an email from Google telling you where you've been on the planet based on your phone data. This information gives a time series and therefore is much more reliable and traceable and comparable for investors once they start looking at your business. So as of last November, we launched the matching between startups and investors. We did an event called Tables Turn. I think a few of you were there together with the Dutch Embassy. Currently, if you get to the fundraising stage on our platform, you're able to open up your profile and investors can start looking at it. For today, all the companies that will be pitching today will share their profiles after the event started next week through the Startup Buddy. So everybody who's registered as an investor can find the pitches, but also a lot more information about all these companies. Our long-term goal is to become a global startup building and equity trading platform. Basically, what we want to do is help startups all the way from ideation until the probably 18th month of existence of a company, get you to your first round of fundraising. Now then, why do we do a demo day? Because you're saying you're on an internet concept. Well, we've been working on this for now about a year and a half, and I've been asked at least 1,000 times, what type of companies are on your platform? And I always get the same answer, go to the platform. But we figured maybe it's wise to just showcase a little bit who we have been helping over time. So we decided to do a demo day, but we also wanted to do it online. So everybody who's watching online, thank you very much for joining. Our demo day is a little bit different from what you might have seen at other demo days. Our companies have not gone through a program of the last 3 or 6 months where we train them how to do a pitch deck. Everybody who's going to pitch today is an actual entrepreneur who's built a real company with a real product and a real service. And they're real founders. So I've actually talked to everybody in the last 2 weeks. When you go into the Q&A, it's going to be very interesting because our founders know their stuff. We're also going to let everybody interact with the companies that are pitching. So the program looks like this. We're almost starting at the pitching. I hope I'm pretty good on time. Every company gets 20 minutes. So they first get time to get here on the stage. They're not allowed to walk around. That's because we have an audience online as well. They get to pitch for 10 minutes. Then after that 10 minutes, there's Q&A, which is going to be emceed by my colleague Sharply and by Danny, who's over there in the back, managing the online part of the event. You can ask whatever you like you would normally do when you're interested in a company. We're going to try to have everybody online participate as well. Basically, try to figure out what this company is doing, why they're good, why you don't like them, etc. Every pitch is 20 minutes in total. Then we switch to the next one. We have 8 pitches in total for today, so we do 2 blocks of 1 hour and 1 of 40 minutes. And then by around 4:30, we'll go to the networking. There will be beer and stuff as well. There have been quite a few questions about the catering. Basically, all the snacks, all the regular drinks, you can just go get here at the cashier. Cashier, I'm not sure. It will be put on our tab, so don't worry about it. Beers will be after 4:30, so that you're sober until then. So before we go to the pitches, are there any questions right now? Other than how Zoom works, because that's handled by the online team. No? Okay, then I'm going to invite Desmond back on the stage for the first pitch for Bounty. Thanks, Robert.
Hi guys, very good afternoon once again. First, I want to de-associate Bounty with Bounty Arena. So Bounty Arena that I just spoke about earlier, that's our subsidiary company. And right now I'm speaking on behalf of the holdings company, which we are doing a lot of fundraising. All right. So a little bit about Bounty. In this round, we are seeking for 1 million round for 12.8% in our company, of which we have had 50% of this round subscribed already. So we are seeking to raise the rest of the 50%. Okay. And Bounty, essentially, we are a 2.5-year-old startup company incorporated in Singapore. And we focus really on serving the gamers, the social competitive gamers across the whole entire world, but with the Southeast Asia focus first, right? So the business model of Bounty is really simple. We serve to connect game organizers, tournament organizers, with brands and with gamers, okay? And in the traditional gaming scale right now, there is a delay in what we see in gamers being able to receive prize money from organizers. So we see traditionally brands are giving sponsored money to organizers, and there are about 2.5 million organized tournaments every single year. Okay, that means about 7,000 tournaments every single day across the whole world. Okay, of this 2.5 million organized tournaments, we understand from a group of data points that up to 20% of this organizer either default on the payments or they would actually delay the payments. So the gamers who are receiving the prize money at the end of it, they don't get the money on time, or they don't even get money at all. So where Bounty comes in, we serve as a middleware amongst the brands to organizer and a middleware from the organizers to the gamer by creating a trust system, okay, within this gamer. So the prize money that's coming from the brands is being escrowed with us, and we pass it on to the gamers. It's very similar thing about it like the Alibaba model. When Alibaba came in, they created a trust model between merchants and also the consumers. So products that you purchase, money is held in escrow with Alibaba, and then when the goods is sent, payment is then done from Alibaba perspective. So this is what we're trying to serve in the gaming perspective. Right? Other than that, some of the other challenges that we see in the market are these three. There are not enough competitions in the whole world. Of course, we know they are the major ones. Example, Dota, they have the international. League of Legends, they have the world. All these are in millions of dollars. Okay? These are all given by publishers or they're given by game developers. On the next year, we have the brands participating in tournaments, giving prize money of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Example, we have the one Dota, which give a few $100,000. We have Singtel EVP tournaments, which give us few $100,000 of tournaments as well. But beneath that, if you're looking at a few hundreds to few thousand tournaments, there are far and few in between across the region. So there are a lot of gamers who want to take part in this competition, but there isn't simply enough tournaments for them to take part. So Bounty wants to change that by creating more tournament opportunities for gamers. Second, there's lack of monetization. If you look at gamers right now, how do they monetize from gaming? Very simple. They are influencers, they are streaming, they stream themselves online, sponsors give them money, number one. Number two, when you are playing games, you get some virtual items like a gun, like a skin, you sell them online. But other than that, you can also play tournaments, but these are only reserved for the top players. So we want to come in and serve these gamers who are good enough, the 95%, but they don't have enough opportunity. So you can monetize by participating in local grassroots tournaments. That's fast. Okay. And next one, unreliable report records. We see there are a lot of records. The gaming industry is huge in terms of the media space, but it's not monetized enough. There's only 200 million of revenue every single year. We compare that to NFL, to NBAs, we see so much more revenues. Okay. We want to come in and help them. So these are solutions, tournament platforms. We have what you see is what you get tournament platform. If you log into our app right now, you will see them. We can organize a tournament within 5 minutes. Okay, we can show that to you later on offline. We also have avenues to earn more competitions for gamers to participate in so that they can earn that money, that $100 or $200 that they want. And also a professional profile as well. So this is the market size that you see here. This is the numbers of gamers we have across the region, and we are Southeast Asia focused. So you see about 50% of them. This is where we are focused right now. Wow. All right, these are some of the competitions we see in the market. These are tournament like this guy's Chamber Launch Battle 5 tournament ID. They are responsible for 5 million competitions every tournament. And then we have also that put together gamers profile. These are different sites. And then play to earn. This are different platforms for casual gamers to earn some money by playing some casual games. So Bounty is actually building features across these different platforms, and on top of that, being an escrow party for the gamers as well.
So we are all looking at.
So if you log into the online platform, this is what you will see on the platform. Different things, different tournaments, and some and also this is a bracket. And of course, once again, if you click on this, we can take this offline. These are some of the partners that we have our organizers partner with. These are the different brands. And if you look at it, we have brands coming from Indonesia, Philippines, and also Thailand. And because these are predominantly the markets that we are in at the moment. Current traction, we have a goal of 1,550 tournaments by end of this year. And as of now, we have 30% of them completed. We have 13,449 gamers on our platform as of end of January. Right now, we have last week we grew by 5,000 gamers. So right now we have about 20,000 gamers, 20,071 gamers on the platform right now. This is a group of gamers. We launched the platform in May last year. We found a sweet spot at this point, and now we are here. End of Feb, we are at 20,000. The organizers that we have, at end of January, we are 60. Right now, we have 122 organizers. Revenue channel is very simple. So for every tournament that's organized on our platform, we take a 10% cut of the prize money, for one. Number two, we talk to brands and launch quests for advertising on our platform. For every single lead that's acquisited on our platform, we charge a 50 cents to $5. Right? This is information on what we are seeking. This is the capital right now we are looking at. Usage of funds, we are looking at majority into development of platform and also marketing. And this is revenue projection going forward. Based on 87,000 based end of this year, we are assuming a $2 per user with 50% take-up rate. This is the revenue that we're looking at. Number of tournaments, 1,500 with average of a 10% of every 1,000 tournament. We're looking at a combined revenue of 1.3 million right now this year. Okay, and moving projecting forward 2021 and 2022, 6.5 million and 22 million. This is a timeline. We started a round of ICO in December 2017, and we launched that. We completed a raise 1.5 million through our ICO. At the same time, we raised a seed funding in Q1 of 2019. And where we are right now, we're at the stage of Q1 2020. Okay, and this is a team. It's made out of 4 of us. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer. All of us come from different gaming industry. Chad is a gaming coach with 17 years in the industry. Lex, who's standing back there, he used to be a competitive gamer, number 8 in the whole world. I came from a digital advertising agency and played as well. And that's our team breakdown right there. Okay. And with that, this is the end of our slide. I think as a conclusion, this is a really bad time to be doing fundraising, to be honest, because of what is going on in the market. There's people that's hardly wanting to write any check. And Dow Jones just dropped by more than 1,000 points last night. So it's a crazy time. But what I want to say is because we are online focused, we see huge growth just based on last week. We grew by 30%, 5,000 gamers just last week because people are staying home right now. So we think this is the perfect storm for us to position ourselves, and we want to be here and reach out to investors who are keen and interested in the gaming industry. Thank you very much. So take questions.
We'll be having Q&A now, so I'd welcome the audience to ask questions.
I want to welcome Lex as well on stage to join me for the Q&A. All right, thanks. Any questions? Okay, I'll repeat the questions.
Have you read through the 3 million that you raised last year and the 1.5 million that you raised?
Sorry, can you repeat? Otherwise, people.
Sorry, so you raised 1.5 million in an ICO, and after that you did a seed round of 1.5 million as well. So what's the burn being like? So you basically have you burned through the 3 million?
Yeah, good question. So doing an ICO is difficult, to be honest. I mean, we raised 1.5 million, but a lot of it went into developing the token, as well as acquiring the 50,000 gamers that we had during the pre-sign up. So the ICO pretty much was good. And then a portion of it also came into building this wonderful bounty arena that we have as a subsidiary, which we hold 45% right now. So right now, in terms of the bridging round that we're raising, it's meant for growing the platform in terms of the user base. We want to take advantage of the current situation of the virus. And then with these marketing dollars that we are acquiring, the 460,000, we can accelerate the growth much faster. So to be honest, in terms of funding wise, we need this cash to increase the user base so that we can go to our pre-series A that's coming up later this year. So the pre-series A, we are raising about 2.5 million at $90 per share. Whereas right now we are raising at $60 per share. So you'll be a significant increase after this year.
Can I just add on to that? So the reason for this round of fundraising is this is where we are for product development cycle. We are at this stage, end of February, and we have all the way to the end of the Q1 of 2021. And these are all the features that we are planning. So the funds is really going catering for this, and also the tournament organizer reward system. So this is a way of how we are getting organizers to come on board of the platform, and then they will bring along the gamers with them. So based on what we have on our data, every single organizer that we recruit on our platform, they bring in 169 on average gamers onto the platform. So in total right now, we have 122 organizers in starter, season, official. And these are the rewards in starter, season, and official. 3 different tiers of reward. So which means when you're an organizer, if you organize 500, 1,000 or 2,000 gamers, you will unlock this reward for you.
Any further questions? Yes. Hey, Max here. So with the money you are intending to raise, what would your runway be? So, and when would you be self-sustaining? So, because you already talked about Series A later, is this more for scaling or actually is there a path also to be self-sustaining within the next 12 or 24 months, or what do you think? All right, so if you look at the previous revenue slides that we have, we are turning on monetization in April or in March this year. So we are right now implementing the wallet feature where Desmond was talking to you about the 10% that we charge for every single tournament that is organized on our platform. So we are aiming for profitability by end of this year. So with the help of the features that we are implementing through the platform, which is the wallet system and the Quest. So this would help us to sustain the burn. And we know the virus situation, right? So we have taken one step forward to reduce our burn rate, both for the arena standpoint as well as for the holdings in terms of the salaries that we are paying to ourselves. Because we know that this is going to impact the physical business right now over here. So we want to take one step forward by being prudent in terms of our spending for the company that we are in.
So what's the connection between the physical asset here and your online gaming platform? Because all these numbers are about your online business. So why do you have this? And what's the added value? And what's going to be your profitability if you're really going to hit 22 million in revenue in 2 years?
Yeah, good question. So last year we had a tournament at a startup conference in Thailand. So over there we created a booth within expo hall and we spent $60,000 just to set it up. So we thought that why do we want to do this if we can build an arena like this and then people can just come in here to pay $10,000 to use the stage. So this is our model for the arena. And right now, Bounty holds about 45% stake of this space. We sell the remaining amount to external investors. So the arena itself is valued at about $3 million. So our plan for the venue is to franchise it throughout the multiple regions. But this is more on a subsidiary level on another competition. The interlink between the arena and the online platform is we have our currency, right? So we want gamers to not just earn the currency, but a way to spend it as well. So they can actually come here to buy products or services, play games, to utilize the currency. So similarly, when we expand that to other countries or other cities, they can utilize our cryptocurrency or tokens as well in those locations. So that is the interlink. Whereas for the profitability portion, right, I think it's mostly based on the marketing portion. How much do we want to spend on marketing to grow the user base? And that's how we determine the profitability of our platform. But if you look at how we are growing in terms of the platform side of things, the development cost, we have it based in Indonesia. We are not based in Singapore in terms of the development. So our cost of development is actually very low. So most of the cost for us to scale up is really dependent on the marketing standpoint. So that's how it will be relating to the profitability of our company. So if you want to aim for higher margins or profitability, then we will scale back on the marketing spend. Hope that answers your question. Yeah.
So we have a question from Lance online. He's asking, what is the plan to scale the company within completing this round? And the secondly, how do you reach the pre-money valuation of 6.8 million?
All right. So for us, let's talk about the valuation first. The valuation is made up of two other entities. We have the arena, of which I mentioned is valued at currently 3 million. So that is one portion. The other valuation that we are deriving it from is from our cryptocurrency that we have. That's another portion. And then the third one is from our user base that we have over at Arena, as well as our platform side of things. So those are the breakdowns of the valuation that we have, of which I can send you deeper details to see what are the breakdowns. Then in regards to the scaling plans, right? So the $460,000 that we are raising is really meant for scaling up the business in terms of the user base. So this is where we are coming from. Like we want to use this current juncture to facilitate the market, and then from there we can gain the user base right now.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add on a little bit more to the scaling portion of after this round, because we have figure on we have been 2.5 years in the industry, we kind of have a pulse on the esports industry and observing some of the other companies, platform companies that has been scaling and getting it. So once we have closed this round, it's really to scale from where we are right now, 20,000 gamers, to end of this year, hopefully 80,000 gamers and beyond. And then start monetizing that by April this year. So we get 10% for every tournament that's been created on our platform. And ultimately, we want to build it into a 1 million user database within the next 2 years, and then scale even further. So the money that has worked for us, let me just go to this slide. So in Thailand, we have we have 2 staff. Indonesia, we have 2 staff that are focused on doing user acquisition and tournament organizer acquisition. So their job every day is to reach out to organizers, to have them host more tournaments, and also reach out to gamers to convert them to become organizers to bring in more gamers as a result. And we're really hoping, end of the day, let me just jump to the last slide there. So these are a couple of articles that talks about potential exit that we can look at as a platform. So in 2014, of course, we know Amazon bought over a YouTube similar platform by called Twitch for just below 1 billion. And then this is Challenge, one of the competitors that we're talking about that was in this tournament organizing bracket. And they were bought over by Logitech earlier for an undisclosed amount. I think this is something that we're working towards realistically for brands, for big brands, for big gaming companies to kind of buy over us eventually.
Okay.
Any more?
I think the time is up. So thank you very much. Can I have a big applause?
Okay, so next we have Dennis from Curiosity. Before we get to Dennis, I'd like to mention that all of the profiles the founders who are pitching today are available online on the Strategy. So for the investors, I would encourage you to log in with your investor account, and you will see all of these profiles published on the Strategy.
Yes. Let's get on with it. So this is our mission. We're here to help businesses to communicate better anywhere, anytime. So we really believe that for communication to be effective, the applications need to be where the end users are actually using. So this is a glance of our business model. What we're actually doing is actually a subscription-based communication cloud, and it's actually the main thing is actually to replace phone systems, traditional phone systems, and at the same time the contact center solution, right? And the subscription value is really based on number of users and the different value-added services, payment modes, and different contractual periods. So if you'd like to know more, we'll talk about it after this, right? And this is what we're having now. We have 426 active subscribers. This is our total ARR, 124,918 per year now. This is our ARPU, $293 per year per user. Our churns pretty low. So over the 24 months is 10.4%, and user churns is actually a bit lower, 8.7%. This is our pipeline for the next quarter, which is 234,000 per year. These are some of the customers that we actually had acquired actually the last year. As you can see, the Singapore Grand Prix is actually quite interesting. So we use for the F1 race in a very harsh environment, and it's proved to be quite successful. We're expecting wider deployment this year. actually for the same problem. A bit about us. As you can see, Norbert is our chairman. Norbert's actually in many technology companies, established ones and startups like WatchGuard, Sparrow, which actually acquired by Sophos and a few of this. He's now actually in F5. He's not here, but if you would like to know him, we can actually arrange for a session. So that's myself, 33 years in technology, and we started doing managed service in 2005, and did some successful investment together with Norbert actually in Casino and Cinepa, right? And gone to Alan, 22 years in the industry, and successfully deliver email, actually Gmail as a service, you know, for 22 users when in his days with Rentokil. He led a team to do that. And our Chief Revenue Officer, Loren, has done many years of sales with on ERP and stuff like that. So she helps us with setting targets and stuff like that, and for the in terms of revenue. Here's a little bit about the competition that we are now having. Of course, telephony, the local telcos, but well, the local telcos are providing something similar, but they always have, they are not actually a SaaS company or a software company, so it's not really in the genes to actually do this. Refuse to actually do to cannibalize their own telephony service. There are some local hosted telephony using open source as well, but well, as you know, open source solutions, especially without a team of your own, has a lot of security bugs and stuff like that. So there are even online step-by-step of how to hack it. So it's not something that a lot of business actually trust, right? And of course, there are some of these competitors from the West, like the US and Europe, but they're very much positioned at a much higher price, and it's not really suitable for the Asian Pacific market. And of course, OTT, WhatsApp, and things like this. But there's always a big risk, because using this, although they're not real competitors, they do not actually have simple numbers assigned to it, and companies are actually using this for a lot of this internal communication, but data leakage is actually a big problem, because data stays with the end user instead of actually the company. So this is actually something that companies are beginning to realize, and they need to address the security risk. The regulations, there are regulations to provide the service. So we already gotten our SPO license, but it also acts as a barrier to entry for competitors. Well, Mr. Market is actually ready. So I think the time is now for the picking. Here's some of this. It's believed that the revenue is going to reach 3.5 billion USD for Asia Pacific in 2025. And we are ready. We are more than 2.5 years, or rather 2 years in the market. And we are well drilled by Mr. Market to address two major pain points. One, the disconnect between the phone systems and the user mobility. So company phone systems and mobile phones are never one system. And you can hardly work in one location, especially now, and people have been talking about working from home. And the other pain point will be phone systems that cannot meet the needs of providing customer support and services. So there's a gap here, and we believe that we can actually reach this gap with our contact center services. So the opportunity here is for us to actually put in the funds to increase the subscribers, active subscribers, to 5,000 users by end of 2021, and also increase the contact center as a service subscribers. So with this, we believe that it actually can increase our ARR substantially. We have gotten our product ready for a demo. So if you like to, we will most welcome yourself to come and see what we can do. Do you have any questions, Cesar?
Can you explain a little bit more what the actual product is? Because all I've seen is competition, but I don't know what you are doing.
So we are actually providing a cloud-based telephony service or system that do not need any on-premise systems. Everything's hosted in cloud. You just need to connect with your either desk phones, laptop, or mobile app, and you can actually do what the phone systems can do for you.
I don't understand it. So it's calling.
It's calling. You can do transfer of calls. You can have voicemails. You can actually do conferencing. You can share files between each other, and you actually have a number, like a phone number, that follows you everywhere you go. Even when you travel, the phone number will be on the app itself, together with the app. So when somebody calls your office number, for example, it will actually reach you even when you're traveling, say, when you're overseas, and you are not in Singapore. So as long as you have the internet, the number actually goes.
So it's like a normal mobile phone number.
Yeah, it's actually a number, an office number, just like an office number. You know, when you are in the office, you have a phone on the desk usually. So this is actually, but instead of having it on the desk phone itself, it can be on your laptop or on your mobile itself, but as an app. So, and the company can control and manage who can get the numbers or get the app.
What question? What are you, how much, right? Why are you trying to?
We are trying to increase our active subscribers. So we are looking at the funds to help us increase that. And at the same time, we like to put more activities and focus into the contact center as a service as well, because of that will actually help to improve the ARR, or the annual recurring revenue. So the main objective is really to increase the number of active subscribers.
What kind of properties are you targeting, and how is that factored into your business plan?
Our main targets will be SMEs with 20 to 100 users. Though there are some customers now that we are seeing that coming to us with 2 to 300 users, but our main focus, the marketing focus, is still 20 to 100 users company. So we are targeting Singapore companies for now before looking at expanding it to the rest of Asia Pacific.
When you sign up a new customer, how much time would it take to fully install the software?
Usually the installation doesn't take a long time. It just we just need maybe 1 to 2 days to activate it. In fact, it can be much shorter. You just need to go to the portal, activate it. They will receive an email and an SMS, and they can install it. So it's very easy. The only issue with that usually comes with porting the existing numbers from the telephone trunks to the system itself, because that requires the telcos to make the porting happen. Yes. So that's usually.
Some more questions on here? Okay, then we move on to the next page. DJ.
Thank you, Dennis. So I'd like to reiterate that Cloudfree has its fundraising profile on the Startup Buddy. They've already made quite a bit of revenue, so I would encourage you to check out the business. So we will now have Vijay coming on stage, please. Vijay is from Connect Ups, if I pronounced that right. Okay, great. Let's start.
Hello. Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Vijay and this is Martin, and we are from Connect Ups. Right? It's about helping unconventional businesses to grow their customer base. Oh, that's not the picture, right? So what are unconventional businesses? And basically, unconventional businesses have limited solutions. You can see them right here: laundromat, bake steaming companies, lawn mowing companies, pool cleaning companies, the bunch that have been mostly forgotten, right? They are isolated and don't have a network. They have difficulties in adopting complex solutions, and they lack resources, right? And they mostly use free applications. So you go out to them and say, hey, I got a solution for you, it's $100 a month, and they'll say, thank you. That's it. So that's where we come in, an ecosystem for businesses beyond F&B or beauty, mostly the crowded space, right? So we help independent and unconventional businesses to kickstart with a customizable quality app. And most importantly, it's already ready and free for them. So it's done for them. And it lets them capture customer data instantly and build loyalty at the same time. So very importantly, now they have the data of their customers. It's not just a loyalty app, it's actually giving them data. And lastly, right, and it's most important, they are independent, they are lonely, they work alone, they don't have the network. We let them outreach to new leads through independent collaboration. So, why is this a crowded space? Absolutely not. 70% of unconventional businesses are actually left out. If you look at the retail and service segment, only 30% is F&B and beauty related, while the others are falling into this entire blue ocean space. And that's where Connect Ups comes in. Yes, there are competitors, of course, but they're mostly stuck on the F&B and beauty segment. So in the other segment, the blue ocean space, the guys like maybe a laundromat or maybe a lawn mowing cleaners, they have expensive or complex solutions. So I think the word is like written on this deck and here. So it's either complex or there's onboarding required, which prevents them from coming on board. Connect Ups comes in, it's free, it's simple, And basically, we bring them on board when they say, yes, I'm interested. So do we serve also F&B and beauty? Yes, we do. And we actually serve the crowd that don't come on board the existing solution providers because these are like your mom and pop shops. If it's done for them, they're happy. If it has to be onboarded, they wouldn't come on board. So although we do serve the entire the 70%, we also do serve a bit of the 20%. So what's our traction like right now? Most important is what is it right now? We have 90 merchants signing up every week right now. And we are still in the phase of Singapore. So we have currently 150 merchants on board from Singapore, and we've got 40% of them to pay. 2,500 MAUs are actually the consumers. So the merchants have customers, and those are the consumers, right? Organically, we are getting traction even when we don't go out and sell to them, right? We have about total 450 merchants, and all the pins are where all the guys are paying us from. We have actually got more than the pins on board, but those countries have not converted yet because we don't really go out and convert them at this point because we're still stuck on phase one. So good organic traction internationally. Again, the numbers are appearing very differently here in this slide versus my own deck. But what is the value proposition? It grows with more merchants. More merchants on board the platform, the value of the platform increases, right? And from the first few months, although we launched on Kickstarter first, we started merchant onboarding from May to December, and we hit the ground first. Why? Although we think we know we don't know. So we hit the ground, make sure we refined it, and we are still refining it, of course. And that's why we're here to raise more money. And now we've moved to the next stage. Of course, we've got on board more than 100 businesses in Singapore alone, it's 150. And we are now in the next stage, which is we are bringing on board businesses listed on social media platforms. So are there many of them? Just take Facebook pages alone. There are 60 million business Facebook pages, and only 6 million of them are actually paying. So do we have a list to go after? Yes, we do. And we are currently here. And because, of course, we are so small, me, Martin, and maybe two other guys, we can only onboard 1,000 businesses and by April, right? And we will definitely get 1,000 businesses on board the platform with about 100 merchants signing up a week. And the next phase would be email marketing outreach with all that, with 60 million businesses on Facebook, although we can't reach out to all 60 million. But a good number, we'll definitely be able to bring on board 10,000 merchants. Why are they coming on board? When we go out to them, we say, hey, we have a done for you loyalty app that is grading and you just need to claim it. So that's the value app, and it's basically letting them capture their customer base, get onto a platform, get advertising, get outreach, and the only thing they have to do is click, yes, I want in. And the last stage for this 18 months is partnership with skill training company. How do we actually grow and scale this? So there are already training companies like tailoring academies, barista trainers, and we get them on board to bring merchants. And yeah, so most importantly, when they bring on board merchants, they straight away come and pay. No partner wants anybody coming in for free. So that's the value add of that. And that's for the 18 months. What's the opportunity, right? It's really an underserved market. If you just look at SME retail sales offline, there's 6 trillion of that happening. And we believe we can actually get at least 0.5% of the addressable market, which is about 30 billion, or about 800 million SMEs. In total, there's about 162 million SMEs registered, but we should be able to reach at least 1 million. That's the end goal, right? Multiple streams of monetization. We earn one-time subscription fees and payment transactions, right? It goes beyond a stamp. So now, how easy is it? Most important is mom and pop shops, you gotta keep it simple. Merchant show QR code, Martin is now the customer, he scans it, and he gets a stamp. It's as simple as that. And everything happens at the at the back end, right? So the stamp is the trigger. So it's like your stamp card, but it's actually a trigger. Capture customer data. I'm now able to engage him with promotions, and I'm now in the ecosystem. He's in the ecosystem. So we kickstart the customer journey. Remember I mentioned about we bring on board the merchants. They don't have to do anything much except saying, yes, I want in. And we actually incentivize them to onboard their first few customers. And once they see the value, we actually reach out to them and say, hey, why don't you unlock more features? It's already working for you. Why don't you just pay 25 a month? So, or even pay 98 one time to get a lifetime plan, just like AppSumo. All right, thanks. And cross-pollination customer advocacy. So important milestones are we launched in 2018 December, got funded for an app for $10,000. And another one is we got early adopters revenue. So proof of them wanting to pay at the stage of where we are. We're looking to raise 1 million for 18 months financing to onboard and convert 25,000 merchants. And that should generate about 2.5 M revenue, but it should be beyond that actually, because this is just the first phase of onboarding. But of course, remember, they always come on board for free first. So why us? We have 30 years in combined retail experience. For myself, the degree in marketing with track record of growing a 0 to 100 retail partners in 4 countries in my previous life work journey. Yeah. And Martin, he's grown partner sign-ups by 300% in just 2 months. And he's a degree in economics, and he was a core team member at Vivid Global Payment that was sold to Royal Bank of Scotland, which is actually a predecessor to Adyen. Yes, that's before I finish off, actually, there's 2 stuff that's happening. One is HECS and IMDA, a local government agency, has shortlisted us to help digitize 15,000 businesses. These are like your mom and pop shops, those shops that are under the HDBs. And that's one of it. And the other one is one of our merchants came back and said, one of the guys in the Red Ocean site, one of the big names, actually reached out to them because they are like looking through our platform to see who's using our platform, right? And that was good news. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Vijay. Any questions from the audience?
Yes, if you could maybe tell a little bit more on your how you actually make revenue. I saw a lifetime plan for $98.
Yes, okay. So there is a few ways we generate revenue. We bring them on board for free, we show them the value, we get everything done. They bring customers or consumers on board. It value adds to the platform in itself. So because it saves us marketing money. But when they want to get actually listed in the app and unlock a few features, it's $98 lifetime plan. And we found that this is the best way to onboard them rather than selling them $10 a month. It's essentially the same as $10 a month, but we actually throw that $98 plan, which is not available online. So like an email marketing and adds value. Subsequently, then they start seeing, hey, this is really starting to work out. We have more unlocked features. And they start, that's the monthly subscription, $25 monthly. So everything is in US dollars. And the last subscription plan is $50 a month. So we do have clients on the $10 a month. We do have clients on $98 on a month. So the guys who are paying $10 a month are from the international network. And the guys on the $98 a month is the ground outreach that we got. And the 25 is those who want to unlock, and there's also customers on the 50. So basically that's our subscription.
Thanks. And one more follow-up question. You often see when these solutions start at the lower end of businesses, so below SME, you see the churn is quite high because businesses go down.
Absolutely, exactly. So that's the reason why we came up with the lifetime plan. So it's basically ripping off AppSumo's idea, right? Because they sell thousands of dollars SaaS products, but at $98 or $49. And it becomes a lifetime plan, but it's tiered. So most importantly, because of the tiering, you start using the application as a lifetime plan. They are on the platform. There's no churn in that sense. But those guys who of course see the value, then they start upgrading to $25 plan, $50 plan. And we have planned a lot more things for the platform because the feedback is really coming back, right? From these guys. They're saying, hey, can we do this? This is what the competitors doing. Can we do it? And we say, yes, we're going to do it. So then they say, I'll be more. So we ask them, how much will you be willing to pay? Say, I'll be more than willing to pay the maximum tier that you're already asking for. So the value add is already there.
I think it's important to add something. How are we different from others? PJ already highlighted Blue Ocean, but also we share the data, meaning our merchants get access to the email, so they increase the value of their business by building a database. And for mom and pop shop, it's never done, they don't have data. So to talk about digital transformation, which is very popular in Singapore, 90% is not on that path. So we help them to set the first step on that path. That's why HECS IDA invited us, because we are the lowest threshold solution to reach out to those merchants.
That's right. Any other questions? Any questions on the other side of the room? Yep. That's all. There's no questions. Anybody? Okay, then that was the first round of 3 pitches.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay.
So,
Robin, take
yeah. So we're gonna have a break for around 15 minutes till 2. That's also for the audience online. So we'll be back at 2. For everybody who's there, make sure to get a snack and a drink. Toilets are all the way in the back, and now for the guys, there's only one toilet, so you have to run now.
problem. We had to move the slide.
Okay. We're back, right?
Yeah, we're already back.
Okay.
But they're not changing. We are unmuted.
Please.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'd now like to invite Scott to the stage. He will be pitching Pasar Cigar.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Scott Abdullah. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pasar Cigar. We are a Malaysian startup. We are currently based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. What we do is that we give you access to fresh, daily produce, easy, direct to everyone at affordable prices through our platform, www.pasarcigar.my. Now, and on this journey, I think all read up. And on this journey, I have two other founders. Mastura Ahmad, 13 years of sales experience. She's my Chief Business Officer. And Mr. Tariq, that's his face, my COO, who's been 10 years in e-commerce and logistics. Now, on this journey, a bit about myself. I can't hold this. A bit about myself. I've had 24 years experience. 13 of those are in F&B. 10 of those are e-commerce and retail and transactions. Okay? My why as to why I'm doing this. Well, in my early years, I witnessed and I grew up having experienced hunger and poverty. Yeah, up to my early teenage years, I have helped my mom early in the morning sell a mirror boost down a block in Singapore. Recently, in 2018, when I went to Kuala Lumpur, I volunteered for soup kitchens, and that's where I witnessed Malaysians have very difficult access to fresh produce at affordable prices. So I knew immediately that I had to make an impact in the business that I wanted to do. I needed to do this. Yeah. And in 2018, I went on a research hunt for 7 months. And we found out that real life situations would be a mother finishing her job at 5:30, okay, and getting onto the traffic jams for a couple of hours, getting back by 8:30, cooking her dinners at 9:30. Number two, if they had a choice, they would have gone to the supermarket. What happens in the supermarket? You are now faced with frozen items that are taught, preservatives-laden seafood, chlorine wash chicken. Yes, you have that in your supermarket, so your chicken looks nice and pink. Very bad hygiene standards in the way they do it. Thirdly, small businesses. Now, they are also buying from the supermarkets because no suppliers are going to them and say, look, I'll deliver to you on a daily basis. So they have to buy from the supermarket on an ad hoc basis. Now, I've got more challenges than that, but these are the 3 challenges that I started my business with. And in that 1 year, this is what we thought that this would help our business. Now, I partnered with a lot of local farms and fisheries, so we buy direct. Buying direct means we have the freshest quality at the most affordable prices. Number 2, we handle the entire cleaning, cutting, sanitizing, and packing process. So I have that standard. I'm a certified ISO auditor. 3, we now deliver on a daily basis to everyone in Malaysia, in Klang Valley, of course, right now. Okay, and number 4, this is what we're going to have, a tiered pricing condition. This is an experience in the wet market where we negotiate with the fish monger as we buy more. These are the 4 key solutions that we're offering right now. In 2018, we formalized our business. Sorry, in 2019, we formalized our business in March. And in that point of time, from our quarter 2, 2018, to our last quarter 4, 2019, we have achieved a 200% year-on-year growth. As of today, in February, we've already hit 6,000 Singapore dollars per month. I'm doing it in ringgit, it's 20,000 ringgit that we have just achieved in February before we close. So we see the ongoing demand in the last couple of months. All right? When we started in 2018, the Little Red Circle was where we were. From a factory to 20 kilometers away. 2019, we went to the Blue Circle. Now we further it up to 35 kilometers away. This year, we're going to the Orange Circle, 60 kilometers away from our factory point. But this is where our problem is. 30% or 3 out of 10 customers we are turning away because they lie in that Orange Circle and we are unable to cope with the demands as of today. My targets for this year, without any investments, will be to reach 122,000 Singapore dollars or 360,000 ringgit. Without any investments in our projections as of today. How are we getting there? Now, firstly, let me tell you the markets that's available for us. In that orange segment that you saw just now, there's 690 million Singapore dollars targeted for online grocery shopping only. All right? The entire market of Malaysia, by 2025, we're looking at 3.5 billion Singapore dollars. And we're lucky enough, Southeast Asia, in the next 10 years. How are we getting there, you might ask? Am I only going to sell online? Well, we have different revenue channels. The first one will be our platform. It'll be a global platform, the first in Malaysia, to offer a B2C, direct-to-you customers, a B2B platform for wholesalers and small businesses to buy on. Number two, external marketplaces. We're already on Lazada in Malaysia, and we're going to be on Shopee and other marketplaces that partners with us in branding. Number three, our e-catalog businesses. We've all been to McDonald's. You have the touchscreen panel. Well, the e-catalog business targets technology and targets mini-marts. Mini-marts that we see like 7-Eleven. In Malaysia, it's called 99 Speed Mart, KK Speed Marts. These marts are in variation of 500 to 1,000 locations around Malaysia. Why do we do this? Our philosophy is this: to lower the risk of capital expenditure by hanging on the shared economy, by partnering with locations that are already in residential areas. Our focus here is to increase our product and brand value. Yeah. Our fourth is, I think you can't see. Our fourth is our licensing program, which means current mini grocers already in the neighborhood. Now, they're already in dense residential neighborhood. I'm not going to bid for real estate next to you, but I would like to work with you. So our licensing program means we go into that business, we put our name Pasar Segar, we rebrand it and provide them with our expertise, knowledge, and product. And our last would be vending machines. Many have said vending machines won't work, but I have an office building that we deliver 20 times a day. 20 riders goes there. So I said, you know what? In order for me to lower my cost of operations by delivering 20 times, I'll put a vending machine there, and everybody can take fresh food at the vending machine anytime they want. And when I top up the vending machine on a daily basis, your app says fresh food has already been topped up in the vending machine, get yours soon. So that is our plan. What is the opportunity with investments that we look at? On the first year, we're looking at 760,000. Second year, 2.8 million. And third year is 6.8. Most of these are coming from our B2B segments. Right now, we have 20 merchants or B2Bs or small businesses that's already on board and buying from us. Okay? The investment. We are looking at 455,000 Singapore dollars with 25% equity. How did I value myself at 1.82 billion? I look at the sales that we've covered at 60,000. I look at this year's projection of sales without investment at 122. I did times 10 of that. So we're looking at 455,000. And how am I going to spend that money? Well, most of it, firstly, will be in technology. Our mobile app and our current platform. Product development, where we will now extend our product line, better packaging at 120,000. Operations and logistics, we will have a factory, scale up our number of trucks and riders in chilled boxes. And lastly, marketing. This is where the money is going to for the next 3 years. Thank you very much. Can I have any questions from you, please?
Who has questions? Thanks so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Can you give us an indication of when you expect to be profitable and how many customers or drops per day you would need to become profitable?
Okay, we're currently doing 20 drops a day. I'm taking away 30% and saying no to them currently. and our break-even point will be in July 2020. Our profits right now, based on 20,000 ringgit sales, okay, that's easier for me to make you understand. 20,000 ringgit sales, we're doing 2 to 4,000 net profit ringgit right now. Yeah, so by July, by extending that coverage, we'll be breaking even. That means I get to pay the salary. Yes, I hope that answers the question.
I do understand your point about increasing the size of the recovery, but that would very much increase the time between the drops because the distance would become much bigger. Isn't that a very big risk for profitability?
That's right. That's why I lowered the risk by having my revenue channels, my licensing program, and my e-catalog program, which means if I have to go 60 kilometers in that distance, because that's where my growing demand is, I've already got 3 licensing programs lined up. So if I open a shop here, here, and here, my distance to you is shorter. And that's how we use our licensing program and our catalog program revenue channels to get closer to the customer. Hope that answered your question. Thank you.
I have a short question. Somebody ordered a Black Earl Grey milk tea, and it's
Sorry, I can't deal with that right now.
Sorry about that. More questions.
Is it enough to really grow this fast? Because your growth expectations are more than tenfold in year 2, but you're only investing 120 in a new factory and 150 in trucks. The truck is on average probably $30,000 in Malaysia or 20, plus staff including. So you got 5 trucks extra. Is it enough to really cover the whole orange part?
Yes, it is. Not immediately, because we see our growth north of the orange area right now. This is where the new neighborhoods are. Okay? We have lined up licensing programs based on that projection. But at the same time, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as much as we can in that circle with that money that we have. We want to grow organically. I've invested 250,000 ringgit into this business. So we call it bootstrapping. I've been eating Maggies for a long time. So yes, we are prudent in where we spend, but I'm not going to expect doubling that fast. But yes, we can hit 2 million this year with the licensing programs and the B2B. To answer the question. Thank you.
I have a question for you. What kind of investors are you looking for, and what do you expect from them?
The investors we're looking for to not only provide funds that I showed you, but expertise. Expertise in logistics, in chilled storage, or processing. We're looking for investors who have connection, either industry, because we also want to manufacture our own paste and blends. So we're looking at investors with such connection too. Thank you.
The idea is so you want to give fresh produce to the people as early as possible, right?
Yes.
When you're trying to increase the circle bigger and bigger and have one manufacturing or one processing site, how is it going to be different from traditional supermarkets and things?
Okay. Supermarkets, I'll compare supermarkets into just supermarkets. Supermarkets buy their produce not from fisheries or farmers, they buy from wholesalers or dealers. I have my own boat that I rent. I have fisheries, partner fisheries and farms that we buy on a daily basis. Because we are buying on small tons, we are buying maybe 200 kilos per week. Supermarkets buy more, but they're not buying from the direct, they're buying from wholesalers. Now, how I differentiate myself, I buy with no risk inventory, which means I buy when the orders come in. Supermarket buys and they throw away because they don't sell. When you walk into a supermarket, you see fish that's been dead a long time ago, right? And they're still selling it to you. And that goes to wastage. Malaysians waste 3,000 tons of food on a daily basis. Yeah. So I lower my risk in buying on demand versus a supermarket. Now, in terms of expansion, yes, we have one factory. Again, that factory is our core center in what we do. But our licensing and e-catalog programs are our satellite or cloud stores, I would say, that allows us to now go nearer to our customers in denser residential areas. I'm not going to open up too many factories around Malaysia. That's really risky. But I will make use in a shared economy model. I'll make use of partners left and right of me to sell the same thing I'm selling. Hope that answers your question. Thank you, sir.
So when you say partners, could you describe more exactly how you're making use of connections that you have?
Okay. Now, if in an e-catalog program, which means I put up a touch screen display in your mini mart. In your mini mart right now, there is no space for fresh and frozen seafood. You sell groceries, non-food. So when I go in and I say I'll set up a touchscreen panel, a catalog that sells fresh and frozen food, it's the same like McDonald's experience. You touch, you go and you pay. So with that, you have an exclusive of 3 to 5 years of a contract. For the e-license program, it would mean I'm going to a current grocer who has fresh and frozen seafood, but no access to better quality ones. When you've been in Malaysia, you will know what I'm talking about. All right? So we go in and provide this product and expertise. And they sign an exclusive with us for the next 5 years of contract. So that is something that we already got in our threats. So that I think.
Are there more questions here for Scott? Is there anything online? I'm not sure.
No, we don't have any questions online. I would encourage you guys to ask more questions.
Sorry? Okay. Then thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
So interesting fact about Scott is that his son is also starting his own company and one of the founders on the Startup Wedding. We're proud to have you guys here. So our next company is Finco, and the founder who will be presenting today is Vanessa. I'd encourage Vanessa to join the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vanessa. I'm here to introduce you to Finco. Who is Finco? Okay. Finco is a consumer financial product aggregator that is launched in January 2019. You see, I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm looking at my notes, but so I can excuse me for that. Now, it is the relaunching of a brick and mortar mortgage consultancy firm in Singapore, and previously known as My Housing Loan. My Housing Loan is one of the pioneer mortgage advisor firm in Singapore, and we have today secure more than 1 billion worth of mortgages for you. Now, our vision is to be the next lending tree in Asia, and that's our vision. Yeah, through the advancements of financial capability. Our projected ROI for the next 3 to 5 years is 5 times to 20 times. And for the next 10 years, we're looking at 20,000. Before I go on to the next slide, I would like to ask questions. How many of you out here have ever gotten a mortgage? Okay. And how about a car insurance? Right. Okay, look. That's why this is actually a 20 billion problem. Okay. It is for a consumer, the 20 billion problem is not just in ASEAN. It's not the whole world, not Asia, but we're only looking at Greater ASEAN alone. Now, for a consumer, they have to actually look at collating the financial product. Next, they will have to understand it, compare it, and then submit the application. The whole process can be very painful and very time-consuming. So we are here to actually solve this pain point. So what is our solution? Our solution is not just easy comparison, but an AI that shortlists the best deal. How do we do that? Our home loan expert system not just select the packages and show them the packages. We walk through with the consumer, have an exercise with them, and actually help to shortlist the 10 best home loans. And at the same time, we show them the monthly installment and what is the amount that they pay on the interest and the principal for 2 years, 3 years, or even the entire loan tenure. Now, we are not just an online platform. We actually integrate customer experience together with it. We're not just lead generation, but our digital platform also make it very easy for them to do the application. So we actually shortened down this whole process from 3 days to nearly just 5 minutes on the whole process. These are our partners. We partners with all the banks, more than 20 of them, from DBS to HSBC to Songco and to FWD. Now, our marketing fees that we are getting or we are generating from fees from these financial institutions. These are our competitors. Now, these are competitors, but none of our competitors are as powerful and as fast as us. Don't just hear from me. You can actually go to Google, use Think with Google, see it for yourself and compare with our competitors. For those of you who are not sure or how important is the website load speed, according to a 2018 research by Google, 53% of mobile users leave a site that takes longer than 3 seconds to load. Now, our traction. Since our launch, revenue has grown 35% quarter-on-quarter to a revenue of more than 200,000 for year 2019, and we are profitable. Our team. This is our team. You see the first one is Ek Hong. Ek Hong is actually my husband. He's also the co-founder of our platform. He is actually a tech and operational guy. The whole FinCo system and everything else, how it is done and all that, if it comes to our platform and see it, you will see how everything is actually very easy to use and all that. He's the guy behind the one that did the platform. Now, my other partner, Andrew, he's actually was global head of a number of listed developers. So his strength is in strategic solutions and also relations in the region. Now, my strength, I'm actually well focused on customer relations and also sales management. I am actually a top performer for CBRE for almost a decade when I was with them. And I left and I actually built up my own boutique property consultancy firm for the last 12 years, and it has been running 7 figures revenue each year. Now, our performance benchmark. We are targeting to hit a monthly visitors of 250,000 in 3 years and revenue of at least 3 million. These are our key financials. Assuming no further scaling up on the 4th and 5th year, our plan is of course to continue scaling. We are looking to raise 1.5 million. As of today, we have already raised 300,000. We are looking to have another 1.2 million from here. So what we are going to do with this 1.5 million mainly is on branding and also regional and product expansion. We are actually targeting to have our next office in Australia, which is a huge market. Now, you'll be asking why now? The time is right to actually come into this because Singapore actually itself is going into digital banking. So the time is actually right. We don't have to spend marketing dollars to educate the people. They are ready to enter into this, to go into digital financing, to buy it online as well. So with all this, that's why we are spending in all our efforts to actually build people. And we hope that you join us in this journey to make this company to be the next unicorn. Right? Now, in case you're wondering, what have we been doing? Who is funding us since we have not got funding from the beginning? It is self-profitable because we have been, pumping in our own money and resources, and we build our own platform, and we actually from there, what we earn, we pump it in and we expand, and you see our growth in our traction, which is 35% quarter on quarter. We're talking about 2019. And then if you look at just last year on year, comparing the first quarter of 2019 and this quarter, which is only the second month of the year, we are already 35% on the traction. So we are on track, and we are actually on track to our growth direction as well. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Vanessa. I'd like to open the question.
Thank you, Vanessa. Quick question. You talk about a digital comparison platform, but at the same time, you're looking for funds to open an office in Australia. How does that match?
Okay. Now, basically, what we are doing is, okay, to tell you more about our business, we are actually doing, we help people get their financing, like mortgages. We help them to get easily online, buy the travel insurance, car insurance, even apply for credit card and any other consumer goods product. Now, why am I saying this funds will go? Now, if you look at our financials, you will see that we have a journey. Let's go back. Okay. Look at our financials here. When we get the 1.5 million, the 1.5 million is not enough on our, on our journey, but we are always having revenue coming in. So the revenue is continuing, we are coming in. And we are coming in to actually grow the company, to make people know who people is, and come to us on this platform to do the things that I was mentioning, like getting a car insurance, a home mortgage, office mortgage, and even getting a credit card, buying a travel insurance, car insurance, health insurance, home insurance. So it's a full range of things. Yeah. So we will actually come in like marketing dollars to do the promotion of the company, and we will, from there, we have revenue, we'll pump it in, and we'll grow, and we'll move, and then on the third year, if you notice on that revenue part, it will be, the revenue is equals to the expenses, and then that's where we are actually getting our license to do it in Australia. So there is a transition time when you need to get that license to do it and operate in Australia as well. I mean, the whole idea is ASEAN, so it will be going in that piece. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but if it's not, I can take it offline and explain it further for you. Why Australia? Why Australia? It's a huge market. It's a huge market. It's bigger than Singapore. Singapore itself, we're talking about 70 billion fees to be earned each year on home mortgage alone. But for Australia, we are talking about at least 20, 25 times Singapore. So that's why, and if they are ready because the fee structure and everything is different, but it's better than Singapore. That's why that's our next area to actually expand to. And if you ask me, how about the other ASEAN countries that are underdeveloped? At the moment, we're targeting the developed countries, and then we'll move on there when the market is ready for us to get in.
Vanessa, to help you out with the questions he's asking is, what are the exact problems that you can solve in Australia to make your vision come true? So, for example, I want to contact the local banks there. I want to make sure that the financial are following the laws. Can you hear me now? Okay. So just to help out, Vanessa, I'm actually asking you, like, what exactly are you going to do in Australia in the sense of what is it locally that you would need to do to actually open an office there? Because your platform is online, as I understand.
Yes. Okay. Now, we're not just online. We incorporate online and offline is integrated together. So So if you come to a platform, you actually ask for a housing loan, etc., you know, and look at it. We actually also give you a call, and then we will chat with you, and we will help you. But our AI actually does the first thing already is to shortlist for you based on your profile, based on what you need, and give you, you know, the selections that you can make. But you know, in today's market, there is still a lot of need for the integration of the marketing 4.0, the online and offline together. So, you know, so that's why we have actually online and also offline. So we actually you know, interact with the clients as well on the first side. Yeah. So your question on why Australia, why third year, we will actually need to acquire a company that has a license, or we are also targeting to get it on our own, the license for Australia, so that that's where the good part.
From the slides, I saw that one of your revenue models is marketing fees from the banks and partners.
Yes.
Are there any other revenues that you're looking at?
Sponsorship fees from other partners that we can work with, but essentially our revenues are from the partners that we have partners with, like the banks and all that. They are actually mainly right now is from this.
And have you also looked at referral fees, or when you're actually, as a consumer, getting personal advice, asking money from consumers as well?
That's a very good question. Yes, we actually look at that depending on the complexity of the loan that is being played. If the loan is very complex, we can actually charge them a fee. However, due to the lack of resources at the moment, we aren't able to do that yet. But we are looking into that because that's actually another form of revenue that we have already thought of. Yeah.
And transactional fees from your partners?
Basically, transactional fees, and also like the one that you were telling me to read, are we able to charge our clients for the expertise that we actually, you know? Yes, both. Yeah. Oh, another thing, our growth right now, we are actually only into home content insurance. Talking about GI alone, in just Singapore itself. GI is actually worth 3.5p. If you go and check it out from the GIA. Now, the thing is, we are not doing the whole segment of the GI. We're only doing half of it, which is 1.75B. We're talking about 1.75B just on motor insurance. I haven't covered home insurance. I haven't covered traffic insurance. Just on motor alone is 1.75B. But we our platform do not have motor insurance. We are only having it offline. Only offline right now at the moment because of the lack of resources on our end to do this. So with the marketing money that comes in, it actually help us on our expansion on that area to actually expand it. So it's a huge market and it's right timing. There's a lot of potential scaling on this part and also good profitability. Like so far, we haven't lost money. We have been pumping in money, but we are having our revenue in. We keep on coming because we keep on growing our company. We keep on expanding our consumers, expanding our base. So that's our growth has shown that we are successfully been doing that. So we continue putting in the money to actually scale up, That's what we are doing.
Time for one more question. If anybody has a question.
So Vanessa, I have a question for you. You did do a practice run with us, so it's coming up to me again now. You mentioned to us then that you have quite a bit of experience in this space yourself. Could you elaborate why you are the expert on it?
Now, I myself is actually in the property industry. Now, of course, part of the reason why I came into this business is because of my husband, and we've been chatting about it. He has been in this business since 2003. He is very familiar with the mortgage industry. Now, for me, I'm in the property industry, and you know what the customers do? They buy property, they will need to take loan. It may be any form of properties that they buy. It can be residential, it can be commercial. even investment, big properties like hotels purchase and all that, they will look into getting a loan. And that's how I'm familiar with this business. And in order for me to be even more familiar, I actually went on to do the offline interactions with the customers on a daily basis as to what kind, how to help them. Now, the main thing is that it's not just about making money at the end of the day. Of course, making money is one big thing. But the other thing is we would like to help people, to save money on their mortgages. And we're talking about lots of savings, which have helped a lot of people, and they're very happy. And we have a lot of referrals after we get the deal done. We actually have referrals from customers that refer their friends and their relatives and all that to come to our platform to actually get a loan. Now, it's synergistic in such a way that I'm in property, and this is actually has related to mortgages as well as home insurance. And people who have a home, have a car, they might have a car. Well, at least they may have for Singapore context, a lot of them have a helper at home. So they will need a maid insurance, which is another target market that we are not, but because we need the resources, we need the people, we need the manpower. With the money that comes in, we can actually move this segment, to they will need a maid insurance, then they will need, Singapore people like to travel, not just Singaporeans. I think globally, everybody loves to travel. So travel insurance comes in. So everything is like a package. So they come to us, we can get a property, you get a loan, that everything falls in place. So I think it's quite synergistic in that area. Yeah. And we can also work with other property agencies and all that to actually move along this.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa.
From Pico.
So next, I would like to invite Tommy from Grateful to pitch his company. Everyone who's joined us here today, I'd like to also announce that this is a gaming arena in case you haven't noticed yet. Everyone who's come here today, you have access to three hours of gaming here. Thanks to you guys coming here. So we'll be sending you guys the vouchers later over email. And you feel free to bring your kids and your family and your friends to game here. I think the setup here is quite nice. Okay, Tommy.
Hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Tommy Chan, and I run Grateful. Hello. This is not working? Okay. I'm Tommy Chan. All right. Yeah, this one's much better. Hi, I'm Tommy Chan. I run Grateful, Asia's most scalable, owned and operated cloud kitchen. So, all right. So, why I'm doing cloud kitchen? Why am I in F&B? It wasn't ever a choice of my own. It's something I grew into. My family owned family restaurants in the U.S. And when you're a refugee kid in the U.S. and your parents are operating a restaurant on a daily basis, there's not much left for you to do except for come back home for school, work, help out with the family. So that's what I did for the early part of my life, never realizing how much ingrained into me it got until after college, I began opening up my own businesses. I worked in Silicon Valley for a little bit, and I'd always dabbled back into food tech. So I jumped out of banking. I lived in Hong Kong for the past 10 years. I've been in Singapore for the last 12. And in those last 12 years, I've just been on a startup hot streak. I've always opened up businesses. I've always done pretty well. But when they're in food and beverage, that's where I really shine. And it was because of the nature of my background. It was because of what was instilled in me when I was young and how I spent my days after school. So after a long stint in banking, as you know, normally happens to a lot of people, what I built was, with my cousin, an online-offline ordering system that did extraordinarily well. That had the opportunity to exit that company, Anheuser-Busch. Off the back of that, I built another company that was Instagram for food, with integrated POSs into restaurants. That eventually pivoted into a corporate delivery company, which when Foodpanda was growing through Southeast Asia, caught their attention. And they acquired from me back in about 2014. And it was an AccuHire. So I went with that acquisition for the next 2 years building food delivery around Southeast Asia as a global MD. After that, after my tenure there and what we were trying to achieve, I came back out knowing exactly where food delivery was headed for the next 2 years and what were the fundamental issues that we were uncovering. When leaving Foodpanda, we were at a drastic shortage of restaurant supplies. We were growing at an exponential level, but we didn't have the supply system or the supply chain in order to support us. So that was the first thing I did when I jumped out of Foodpanda, was I built a distribution network for a restaurant chain. So we could deliver across an entire city quickly, easily, and with consistent food. So what my focus was building and aiding a massively growing ecosystem. So inside of food services, online food delivery is the fastest growing sector. How fast it's growing? It's growing 50x inside of a decade. All right. In Southeast Asia alone, it's growing 2.5x year on year, 3x in Singapore. GrabFood, GrabFood, which usurped Grab Transport in growth, grew 14x in the last 12 months. So that's the pace of growth we're talking about. And it's all due, in fact, to just a moving trend in how people order, with the younger cohort having larger spending power and ordering 3 times more than my cohort itself. So, coming to food, knowing fundamental issues that we're undersupplied in the high growth areas that we need. What we naturally did back at Foodpanda was we built kitchens all around, and we tried importing food. We tried bringing in brands from, say, CBD to the outer areas. So what's happening here in Singapore, specifically, to give you a regional example, is Woodlands is a very high growing area, Sengkang is a high growing area, right? But they don't have the restaurants supported. They actually have the lowest restaurants per capita than anywhere else in Singapore. So what we would do is we'd build kitchens there and import restaurants. But restaurants would just bring their business one for one. They didn't make any changes to what they were doing. They're not a startup. They didn't try to innovate. They tried just opening up another restaurant in another location, but they were missing a significant part of the business, dining. They didn't restructure their activities. They didn't restructure their costs, and thereby very few of them actually survived in this initial move to supply demand. So 3 years ago, when I initially set up the first iteration of this company, what I did was, with my knowledge of food and restaurants and background, I took a deep analysis of it, and I stripped away everything that was non-essential in what it took to serve food. So what that was looking at it, I stripped it down to so I could have low-cost, very fast, rapidly deployed distribution centers that didn't cost much and cover an entire city with a low amount of capital. And in order to do that, I literally had to strip away everything that was fundamental to a restaurant. And that was the labor that took to cook the food. It was the equipment inside. It was the chairs, tables, cash registers even. And then a lot of the labor, a lot of the cost, I pushed back and I centralized in the kitchen. Okay? And that's one of the ways in which we redeveloped the cost model, the structure for how we could expand food quickly. Another, and that's part of it. Another was we didn't even take on CapEx, or we didn't even take on the fundamental cost of the restaurant, which would be rent, labor, and CapEx. And what we did was we went through partnership deals with local restaurants that were massively underutilized, and thereby had kitchen space and staff ready, and they were paying for on a regular basis, that could potentially serve our virtual restaurant cuisines to be sold online without much hindrance to their existing business. So that's what it took. That's what it does take in order to capture this market. So fundamentally, restaurants, which have the cost structure here, were never meant for food delivery. They were meant for you to come inside and sit and eat and enjoy it. That's why they have tables, chairs, busboys, waiters, waitresses. So once you add in the cost of delivery, which is either a person or a delivery charge, that takes them into a negative E business, right? So it takes a fundamental change in their structure in order for them to service this next wave of food. Cloud kitchens are what's next, and they're the next iteration of this, but they're also high in CapEx. So at least 50K that went up, that's minimal. All right, so my places are significantly less because they're stripped down versions of this, or they're on a partnership deal, which they don't need any CapEx at all. And in doing so, we've been able to create small, lightweight, ready-to-eat distribution centers. So highly scalable last mile distribution hubs. These are RTEs, standing for ready to eat. And food here is all prepared in a central production kitchen When they're brought here, they're reheated, garnished, plated, and then sent out for delivery. And we use third-party delivery platforms, GrabFood, Foodpanda, and Deliveroo. So they do our fulfillment, they do our marketing, and they help us acquire customers. All right? And since this is fundamentally stripped away, the unit economics become the lowest anybody's ever had inside of scaling restaurant chains, virtual or otherwise. So the unit economics are great, but just so you guys have an understanding of what these unit economics pertain to, we have central food production, all right? That's where all our costs got squeezed. And they're a fraction of what a restaurant or any other production facility would do. And that's because of a change of techniques, that's because of the remodeling of the industry, but fundamental, it's because of a changing cost structure. Like the existing cost structure of food's not going to survive with the new iteration of food. So with this costing a fraction of what it's supposed to do to make a meal, we opened a significant number of RTE kitchens, distribution centers. And these centers increase the reach of our kitchens. Being food delivery, you can only really deliver about 30 minutes around your radius. So that doesn't cover nearly a portion of Hong Kong. So opening up one of these lightweight, ready to serve centers lets you cover the entire city extremely quickly. Now, the next secret is multiplying what you have. So we created multiple brands that sell through these centers. So it's not just one restaurant club menu, multiplying the revenue that we bring in. And then of course it's our channel partners, which help us reach the customer. And we've gone a long way. We have our brands built, we're selling now. We're even representing other brands, then using their brand equity to help build our distribution network supply chain. And it's something that you can order right now. Something live and occurring over the city. And we're launching to build 10 kitchens in the next, well, we'll have 10 kitchens live in the next 4 weeks. So that is what we're doing. We're distributing food on a mass level at a consistent high quality to change the fundamental experience of dining at home, which needs to happen in order to capture this market. Little to no consideration has been put in there. The food delivery that you and I have today, it came here, it came there, and it was put in a box and it was given to us. All right, that needs to fundamentally change in order to capture this industry. Okay.
Thank you very much, Tony. We're going to questions. Who's got a question for Tony?
Okay, I have a question. So I think what you're doing is really unique. I find it even more interesting because I've always wondered why restaurants exist the way they do right now. So in your case, what made you think of this idea and why are you the best person for it?
Okay. All right. Everybody knows food and beverage is it's a hard area to operate in. We see restaurants closing down on a regular basis. Why? It's because the fundamental structure of how they operate is flawed. They race to achieve business in order to pay rents and labor. And all they can think of is achieving more and more sales. You have to go backwards. You have to start from the beginning. You have to restructure how they operate, what they sell, and what price they sell it at. So with that restructure, then you can begin not to service just the existing customer base, but the customer base you cover. That's food delivery, that's catering, that's other services that have extraordinary value. And you're able to serve them right with the infrastructure in place that services specifically them, not the archaic infrastructure of the restaurants that sit outside. And why am I the right person to do this? It's because I've been doing this for the last 40 years. This is what I do, this is what I've done. This company is new to Singapore. This idea is fairly new to Singapore, but been building food delivery for the last 7 years. On top of that, the version of this company that I built before in Hong Kong is called Nosh. It's currently called Spoonful. It's doing extraordinarily well. It hasn't had the chance to exit, but it is invested in by Alibaba and Delivery Hero, which is the parent company of Foodpanda. And so that's where restaurants are. That's where I've been. Now, where we're going, where food delivery is going, is food delivery is still growing at an massive level, exponentially. All right. And then so this is an opportunity to jump on top of that, because online food delivery, GrabFood, Foodpanda, as any mass online company, they're just in a massive grab for the existing demand. They're spending a lot of money to acquire users without focus on really driving their profitability. That will end once a significant market share is achieved, right? So that's predicted to be the next 5, 6, 7 years, right? And in that time, they are going to turn to Brent. They're going to turn to existing operators and ask, all right, all these years that we've been operating, we've been making about 25% of your ticket, all right? We need to be profitable now. What do we do next? They're going to try to acquire 100% of your bill, all right? Not just a portion of what is being served outside, but bring in brands internally. And the best way to do that is to acquire pre-existing brands. So I was lucky one time. I built a company that was right in the trajectory of food delivery and I got acquired. This time I know exactly where it's going, so I'm building one that that'll have significant value to all the delivery players.
So tell me, first of all, I think it's a fantastic idea. What are you trying to achieve here today? Why are you here?
All right, so in 2 parts. One is investment. I am looking for investors to grow our Singapore business. Secondarily, it's network. So we are now beginning to represent brands, and then their brand equity is significantly driving our business. We have 3 big pillars of what we do that drive significant value. One is our distribution network, access to an entire city with delivery almost immediately. All right, so this has a significant value to brands. So one of the things that has been driving our revenue and has significant interest is working with pre-existing brand partners that need distribution. So we're talking to guys like Sun Chi or Sui Chun, like a very notable dim sum operator. And of course, they're extraordinarily easy to prepare their food. You just steam it. So we want to distribute for them. And essentially, while they're paying for us to build our distribution center, we're paying them back in growth of their brands. And then so all of my reputable introductions to existing established restaurant businesses or restaurant brands have been through events and investors.
So what is your ask and which kind of investors are interested?
So this company is still fairly new. We are live, we have traction, we are doing well. We're asking for, I'd like to raise up to $500,000 for full coverage expansion of Singapore to build out the initial team. After that, I think it's an easy walk into Jakarta and KL. And then the type of individuals we look for, so far investors with connection is what's really been paying off for us inside of them, or just relationships to the owners.
More questions?
How much more time do I have?
5 more minutes.
Okay, 5 more minutes being the case. So fundamentally, I can either share about what I'm doing or I can share about the industry of it. So let me share about the industry. I mean, we're all going to be interested about this. You're going to be hearing about this significantly in the next couple of years. So fundamentally what's happening is there's a decline in dine-in orders, all right? And what's happening on the cross of that is there's an increase of delivery orders. Delivery orders come in at an additional premium of 20 to 30%. That's your delivery driver, that's your fees you pay to delivery companies, all right? And so as that happens, that's eating up the last remaining profitability of restaurants. And I've been in restaurants for so long that I remember when EBIT was, profitability was 25%. Now it's, I think on average in Singapore, 3%. So there needs to be a new structure in place in order to capture this demand. The individuals that are servicing now restaurants, what they're doing is they're cannibalizing their in-house business for a delivery business that has an extra cost to it. So Cloud Kitchens, the players that are operating in the space, made most famous by Travis Kalanick, Uber's founder, Cloud Kitchens. So he developed kitchen space, basically kitchens as a service. They set up a kitchen and they let you operate out of it, basically a WeWork for restaurants. But that only really works for high expanding companies. As I just mentioned, restaurants don't have a lot of margin. And if you're trying to take it, it's not a good business to be in. So they're only really servicing the companies that are fast growing. And once they do eventually grow out of these kitchen spaces to get their own. I, on the other hand, am a brand owner operator, and I do set up some of my own logistics. That's my distribution. And being that I own and operate these brands, I control the value and I control the experience of the consumer, which at the end of the day is the pure value of my business.
So, think about this, when talk about business, grab food and all, they take up some margin from the delivery. And hotels also will give you some basic cost to your product. When you think about all these things, how are you thinking about your margin? Are they not diluting the cost for you? If you don't go into the route of acquiring the kitchen for yourself, is it a profitable model by itself?
Yes, so this is margins. Yes, so the margins must be, and we do have unit economics, because again, this is the cost structure issue that faces traditional the industry now, is they do not factor in the 25-30% that it costs. So, okay, so here it is. This is the delivery platform fee of 30%. The cost of goods sold, everybody has that. But nobody factors this in for delivery, and that's why it's eating cannibalizing this business. On our hand, we plan for it in the beginning. We plan for it when we service our food, and then in order to accommodate that, we have to restructure it. So the best way we've done it so far that allows us to scale immensely, that I've never seen anybody else use it, is utilization of unutilized kitchen space today. That means if you look over there, and assuming this place would have a kitchen, we broker a deal here. We broker a deal on a transactional basis alone, saying, hey, would you mind preparing this food, or can we sell food out of here? You would say 20%. You'll supply us with your labor, your rent, we'll set up the equipment, we'll set up the brands, and then we'll operate. So essentially, I've removed the fundamental costs that need to expand and operate: rent, labor costs, and capex.
No follow. One more question: how are you dealing with the regulations? Like, let's say some hotel is halal, whereas other, like in Iraqi, are not halal.
The question was, how do we deal with licensing, and how do we deal with, say, halal and different aspects? Well, there's, of course, the risk of it. The risk of it is protected through our insurance and through our centralized license at our production facility that makes the majority of our food. Secondarily, when we go down, it's by hosting multiple brands. Brands aren't universally adaptable. They aren't universally applicable. So the brands that I sell here won't be the same ones I sell in Woodlands, won't be the same ones at other places. So halal brands for halal neighborhoods, halal brands for halal kitchens that I'm partnering with. Alternatively, Western or Asian or Sufi.
For now, I don't know what's going on, so we're going to the break.
Yeah, sorry about the mic.
Break, and we're going to be back.
In case you guys didn't hear us online, we're going to be back at 3:35.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, we're going to start with the next round of pitches. We have 2 more pitches. I hope that you guys are enjoying your time so far. So I'd like to remind you guys that everyone who's pitching today, we actually have their profiles on the Startup Buddy, and you can check them out as an investor. Robin, a little help. No, that's not.
Is it okay?
Yeah. I'm just. Okay, so for the next set of pitches, we have 2 companies, Collab and Really Pitching. So I'd like to invite Fateh onto stage to talk about Collab.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Fateh. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Collab. We are a team of productivity experts revolutionizing the way communities organize themselves, share information and knowledge, and collaborate with their people. We are reinventing the online digital collaboration for the faith-based system. To help me understand what we are actually doing, let me give you an example. Communities. Communities are the core or the basis of the human existence. Communities are something that people come belong, they feel and bring their own belongings together as people from different race, different religions, different backgrounds, different culture, geographies. Now, when the digital evolution started, especially with the online revolution, platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, pulled the plug, got into, started building their communities, and we see where they're now in the era of Industry 4.0 revolution. There are millions of real communities on the ground using technologies, using Facebook or any of the social media platforms. But there's a huge gap. Let me give you an example. Let's take an example of a non-profit, right? They use Facebook for building their community, right? What happens next once they have the community members engaged? Say, let's take an example of an NGO having 10,000 people connected to them. How do they engage with them? They just communicate on Facebook. This is a random example I'm giving here. It could be any social media platform. They engage a couple of events that they can create on the platform, and then what's next? You know, that's only a communication channel that helps to bridge the whole community. What they also have to do is next, these community administrators, after creating an event, they also have to use multiple different tools on the site to really engage with the community. There is no collaboration happening, it's only communication. So to have these collaborations, there are multiple different tools. I'll give you an example in my next slide, how to do it. There is a pure reason of a privacy-focused vision of community collaboration. That's something missing up. So at the top level, everyone has their own community, but they don't be able to do deep dive into what the actually community collaboration exists. Let me tell you, we are in a space where we are building a technology platform for the Muslim faith called Collab, collaboration of deen. Deen is religion. So we are starting up with the Muslim world, the world's last great untapped market, said by BBC. Right? It has no central community collaboration platform for faith and lifestyle needs. It's one of the largest, fastest growing communities around the world, but there's no technology. To give you an example, there are 3 major challenges. There is no technology whatsoever to really go and connect with the people. Bringing community members on singular page for fundraising, donations, membership management, events is a gap. And then the community communications is in chaos. We are building a singular platform, a platform that we bring order to chaos of online collaboration, a mobile platform where community admins can collaborate within the teams as an internal teams within the communities and the external teams, which is the community members. So it helps you grow the community, save time and money, and we also help them make money out of this platform for their community collaboration. And also, finally, it brings the shared culture in the community. How do we do it? I was talking about this community collaboration that exists. So right now, the teams and communities are working in silos. Just to give you an example, imagine there's a youth event in Sultan Mosque next week. What did they do? They created Google Forms to go and start circulating on WhatsApp or emails and Facebook at multiple different directions, multiple different test points of data points being collected. And then at the end, as it grows, the number of emails that's collected, there's an email MailChimp used for communicating to these people. And then when there's an event happening, there are multiple layers of tools that have to be used at this stage. So what Collab Team does is a single centralized platform, one interface where communities can talk to the administrator, administrators talk to the internal teams and the external teams. We have built the world's first online mobile platform for community collaboration. We are revolutionizing the way communities organize themselves, share knowledge and information, and help into the giving platform. So a platform that was really revolutionizing how communities collaborate. We've also happened to build a platform, a simple kiosk, and an app for helping these fundraising donations that happen in these communities. Because the singular purpose of this is the communities which exist is primarily relying on the fundraising of these communities. So that's the only method how these communities survive on monthly, yearly basis. We launched this product about 10 to 11 months ago. In the 10 months, we have been to 27 countries. We have got a good traction of 10,000 users, 300 communities worldwide, 66,000 communication test points happen, and 3.2K events are created on our platform from across the world. When we're talking about single most community that I give an example, there are about 19 million communities, both for lifestyle and faith, into this ecosystem, where 8 million such communities are online, engaging, and tech-enabled, out of which 15% is our available market, which is 1.2 million communities for us to go out and provide technology to them. I coming from a background where I've been involved with a lot of communities. I myself have been at the ground level, helping volunteer in different communities, not just from a faith base. I've been to churches, mosques, blood donations, volunteer management at various levels, diversity councils and civil associations. So looking at challenges, I know how these communities organize and operate and what they're lacking of. My co-founder, who is being a lead technical architect at various banks, has helped companies grow, do millions of transactions and raise billions of funds into his corporate life. We've got a good team of advisors all around. We have a big opportunity, $3.2 trillion of global Islamic economy, faith and lifestyle together is larger than $5.2 trillion of ecosystem. About 1.9 billion Muslims walking on this planet, out of which about 650 million are the gummies. Gummies are global urban Muslim millennials. These are people tech-enabled, but they're still, not finding a real singular technology platform for engaging with their community. Not just one community at a time, but multiple touch points into different communities, especially for the travelers. We have a great value proposition for these organizations who would onboard to us. Primarily, we're looking out for the faith-based non-profits who join us, religious schools, influencers from the global lifestyle sector, halal travel, modest fashion, halal food, media, entertainment. These are the number of more than $3.6 trillion of ecosystem that exists. So these people would be getting this technology. Our business model is simple. Go to this for 1.2 million communities. They pay us a subscription of $149, and we have a potential to raise go and create $178 million of revenues. We have a very good interest in market adaptation. We have been on the ground. We have seen the communities all across. We know how these communities behave. What are the events happening around the world globally? Community partnerships is what we have done. Each community, just to let you know an example, a smaller community of size about 100 people in a community to as big as few million into a singular community. So we have spoken to all of them, understood all the needs of these communities, traveled around the world to really finalize the product for them. We have a very good competitive advantage. We are the first into the market, getting there, having a very great branding. People have been adapting what we have been developing. There are community incentives. We have been creating layers of defensibility that nobody else could come and try to move sideline us. So we have a very good competitive landscape. There are many people in the Christian world trying to create multiple technologies. They've also gone to IPOs. but there's nothing existing from a Collateal's business point of view. They have utility tools, but nothing for as a platform. So we have built our platform of the whole world-class technology on Amazon, Google services, and React Native. We've been around the world, we know the landscape, we know the potential of this ecosystem. We have spoken to everyone in this community organization system, and we have learned what we've been developing has a huge potential. We are looking to raise 1 million of pre-series, and what we want to do is we want to scale the team, further develop our product, and a big marketing push will bring us to the first 5,000 paying customers for us. In 5 years, we have big vision. Collateral will be the global #1 go-to platform for every Muslim community, serving about 100 million users and about 500 million financial transactions per year. What we are looking now to do is for the growth. We are looking for advisors, investors, innovators to be part of our journey. So join us. Thank you. Open for questions, and I can show a demo that's possible here. So multiple communities can be created of various size. This is our homepage, how communities would look, how each individual community page would look. We are revolutionizing with a augmented reality system where it plays, everything is augmented. Your community touch points are in community. You can see all these mosques around you. You travel anywhere. We have 19 million touch points already created. All we have to do is a customer has to just go and claim that community. We have a verification system, KYC process built. We are really revolutionizing how communities organize at their community level, more of privacy-focused network for that. So fundraising options, having for them to go on, understand what are the funds, different various aspects to it. On the map view, this is what you look at it. All the mosques in Singapore, these are live communities in Singapore. The different faith and lifestyle are put into different categories. When I say lifestyle, businesses, brands, and influencers be on this platform. There's a prayer time. Somebody was asking about a youth city. Smaller youth cities are available on here as well. So it's a singular platform for everyone to be on one single platform. Whether you're a traveler, whether you are having a faith level of 0 to 100%, for all kind of people, all kind of races, all kind of different geographical backgrounds, this is going to be a one platform. Here I'm showing an events view where people can, customize their events if they have to only send to youths, ladies, or gents. So the recurring events that can be created. There are different groups within the communities, how people can manage and organize their own, say, a volunteers group or a sisters group. It's everything on one platform. Thank you.
I have a question myself first.
Sure.
Can you find halal food with it as well?
Yes. When I say the bottom line, what we do is create community. It could be a community of faith-based lifestyle or a faith-enabled or faith-inspired business. It could be a halal space. It could be any restaurant on this platform, because this is going to bring the collaboration. We're creating this as an ecosystem where you have brands, businesses, influencers coming from one side. On the other hand, we have a lot of community members joining it organically on the community. We are making this as an ecosystem where brands, businesses can talk to the people. So there is, yes.
My team has wasted quite a few hours already trying to find halal places around the city, so that's why I
Thank you.
questions.
Thanks. It was very interesting. What's the earnings model? Because you have your payment per community, but the actual users are using it for free. Or can you put that one slide that you only showed for a quarter of a second?
Right. So asking about this?
I have the other one on the other side.
Okay, I have. Okay, I'll show you this more detail, which I've not shown earlier. So this is something communities are actually paying. Everyone can get started for free on our platform. Premium to premium model where you have different tiers of payments. So on one side, I'm showing about the communities and organizations, businesses and brands play at different community sectors, and every users on our platform can be available for free, consume everything, but to get onto a really important content that's not available for a public use, they can move on to a premium plan. So there are like different tiers for different set of categories. But again, say for example, a community onboards for a $149 plan. They can move on to a $249 plan by applying for a kiosk, a physical kiosk that's going to bring more money on the table for that community. We've tested this in Sydney at the moment. It's bringing a lot of attention there. Different layers of pricing plans that's really helping these communities to get started for free and then move on. And there's not going to be a limit on that.
So what's your proof of concept right now? You have users, subscribers, where you have?
So as I mentioned, we launched 11 months ago as global beta. And when we did that, everything started growing organically for us. We didn't expect we would be actually growing rapidly organically, though we actually had scheduled breaks for not more than 100 community members to joining into each community. What we are doing is, in 11 months, we happen to understand more and polish the product much more. We have been traveling around the world, understand the real pain points collectively in the last 11 months, and even beyond that. We actually went and understood from Sydney to say, San Francisco. We have traveled and understood the pain points of these communities, put the top 20 pain points, pick the top 5, 6 pain points, we're solving that first. So that way we are able to, kind of slow down in terms of user growth, but we know when we actually open, there's going to be floodgates.
One question. Is this map a presentation of your?
Yes, this is live data. There's a screenshot taken from our dashboard. This is an organic growth that happened. This is a live map.
Videos are the highest number of paid followers of Muslims compared to any other region, right? Why that region is not overcrowded compared to any other region?
These are the communities, not the users. These are number of communities. We have 300 communities that signed up. To answer you, more of Asia. Asia is the 65% of the actual Muslim population, right? So Asia has to be grown up there. What we have done is early days, we wanted to really go and see growth in a global region. Also, primarily wanted to test out in the Western market where we wanted to see the other people who are going to be paying customers for us first. Because that's the real need of it. Versus somebody in Bangladesh or Indonesia using our platform might be a little later in the game for us when we really have many more functionalities to that. But early in the game, when we had the basic of community collaboration, we started seeing organic growth in the people.
So next question is, if the community is around very small scale, your platform makes perfect sense for people. But if it becomes bigger, it becomes a problem of it. Let's invest in our own technology and tap onto existing one. How do you kind of defend that?
Just to give you an example, I wouldn't name. We have spoken to an organization of about size 12 million in terms of one organization. They've tried building technology for the last 5 years. They failed. We know why. I won't be able to reveal it. We know why they failed. We know how these communities behave, how these users behave. So we know that there are people who have tried, not just a large organization as you have mentioned. We have seen even small scale, a community size of 1,000 people, they wanted to build an app for them, but there's no ecosystem. They don't understand the need. They might be able to spend, say, $5,000. I myself have been doing these things for them in my past experiences as a freelancer on part-time. I've seen these people. Just to give you a glimpse of what it is, there are about 10 million WordPress non-profit websites still exist, outdated, half of things broken. They will not be able to upgrade things. So they might be able to take the step 1, step 2, but beyond that, when technology changes, especially in the mobile world, they would not be able to scale up to the expectations of technology. That's a huge gap not being in business, and that's our plus point in our company. Hope that answers.
That's how we can do business modifying. Starting not to people in such big communities. It is a solution for them outside of your network.
Right. We are getting opportunities to do white labels. That's not the game. For us, what we are trying to do is the whole ecosystem will evolve when you actually everyone bring on the same platform. That's our focus. But again, going outside the market, we're still open because as a technology player, our first step is to the Muslim faith. As we move on, we have multiple opportunities. We are already working with a couple of people in Australia for Hindu communities in India. A lot of positive things happening around what we have done. There's huge traction working with HDFCs and other banks in India to really be on a platform that really equips to these community collaboration needs of every faith-based community. So we're not restricting to the Islamic faith. We started with that because it has huge market potential. We have that as a market, and as well, we come from this background, we understand how it works. Now we have learned, we're going to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the last question. Can I have a round of applause, please?
Thank you. So our next founder who's presenting would be York. York comes from Really, which is a real estate company. I'd like to reiterate again, you can check out Collab's fundraising profile on the Startup Buddy, and we have all of the companies that are presented today on there. When you favorite a profile, we will know and we'll try to introduce you guys to that. So now I open the stage to York.
Thank you. Thank you. So first of all, thank you to Sharan, thanks for Robin for inviting me. And thanks to everyone here in the room as well as online for the interest in Really, basically in the platform. And before I pitch Really, I also want to pitch actually for Robin and Startup Buddy. So I hope we can also support them in terms of fundraising, because it's great to organize the events here, to organize for you as maybe investors, but organize also for the startups. I think that's really a great thing to do. So thanks to everyone. And now, yeah, let's start about Really. And before I share something more detail, I want to first set the scene in terms of real estate and property industry. So this maybe goes back a little bit to Pinko, what Vanessa shared earlier, but now here we are in the B2B market, so only talking about B2B. And my background is real estate, so my first education after high school was real estate in Germany, then over Germany, then to China a couple of years, back to Germany, and now I'm here in Singapore for the past 8 years. And I used to manage like a big real estate portfolio, and that is basically when I also know now in the times of the coronavirus. So I pity all the building managers and facility managers. It's a really stressful time for them to basically expect everyone coming in and make sure that all the facilities are clean and tidy and so on. But they really have, before the virus, already a very tough job. And that is actually where I come in. And I work with all the big managing agents, like maybe, you know, JLL or CR or Knightbank. So they are all big players in the market. So they run big companies, but most of their money they make all with the transactions. So all the transactions with the agencies, so all the leasing or sale and buy, all this kind of stuff. But the business in terms of property or facility management is very low margin or zero margin. So basically they put in very little money in this kind of work. And this is also due to the fact, for example, as an insight from Singapore market. In Singapore, there are about 4,000 condominiums, so about 4,000 buildings. But there are, in terms of companies, more than 400 companies basically managing the 4,000 buildings. Plus, there are also many individually basically self-managed buildings. So means the market is highly competitive, very fragmented, and there's really low interest basically in putting in money and to top up basically how I work. And what I feel, if I complain to my service providers, if I complain to I said, here you don't deliver the service, what they usually do, they just throw in more people. So it's literally not scalable how they run, and it's low tech or no tech basically. This is how the building management or facility management is done. And one more interesting fact in terms of facility manager, building manager, that they are very powerful in terms of collecting data. So they know so many insights in all the tenants, residents of buildings. Plus, they are under control. They basically control, for instance, in Singapore, like a 38 billion spend each and every year. So in Singapore 2019, there were $38 billion spent in contracts awarded to anything about real estate property. So they basically control then which vendor gets appointed for like a multi-million dollar contract, right? But they are just how they usually deal with that. They either go to their friends, to their neighbors, or to their relatives and tell them, here we have this contract for this service provider, and then I give you the contract. So there's basically no transparency. And this is basically where we come in terms of really. So firstly, we help the property and facility manager to become more efficient with technology. That's the first thing. And secondly, we create transparency in the market so that this kind of one-to-one deal-making kind of thing, which is not wanted by the building owners, which is not wanted by the developers, and also not by any corporate clients. So corporate clients, everyone wants transparency. They want to get the best pricing for the many billions of they spend every year. And so maybe as a start, to show you more details, maybe we check first the video. Okay. Oh, okay. So then there should be a very funny video that you can also check on YouTube. I can maybe also share like a link, and then you can see basically. This is basically in brief. So the facility managers, property managers have basically horrible days. Yeah? So they don't have any work-life balance. They only know work, and they have to deal with so many different things. It's a very complicated job what they have to do. So many people basically calling them, asking them. They have to update people. Then they have to make sure that contracts are in place. They have to make sure, like now with all the virus stuff, that everything is secure and safe and clean. And so we basically bring them in like a platform, like basically here like a 3-in-1 integrated solution. So the 3-in-1 basically captures in a sense what they have to do. So firstly, they have to do a kind of project management. They have to make sure that all the tasks and steps what they do every day are on track. Secondly, they have to make sure that for all their buildings, all the supplies are on track. That basically they have for each every item like cleaning, security, for landscaping, pool, for electricians, plumbers, everything, basically contractors in place. And thirdly, in order to get these contractors, there's always like a tendering process, a job for. So it's not that they just hire the very first best one. I mean, that's what some do. But usually what they should do and what they must do for, at least for the corporates, they should get at least 2 or 3 quotations and then show the process that everything was done transparently, compare apple to apple and so on. And this is what we basically bring on one platform. And this is where we basically have then finally also all the stakeholders on the platform, like the project property managers, the vendors, contractors, but also the landlords and tenants. And this is here basically the traction what we got so far over the last about 1 year. So here in Singapore, we have onboarded more than 800 buildings. So the recent onboarding was Capelland. So for instance, the Ocean Financial Center, maybe some of you know, it's like a very prominent building at Raffles Place. So they are starting to use us now. And also many other commercial buildings as well as condominiums. So, and all these buildings basically tap on the marketplace of more than 3,000 vendors, and the vendors spread over more than 80 categories. So this is for like architects, consultants, engineers, to like cleaning companies, landscaping, just general contractors, builders, but also like insurance and so on. And then we have had more than 2,400 tenders and 22 million. So for instance, in January, we just had about $4.5 million transaction. And this is growing month on month. And here just to show you what I mentioned also earlier, in general, last year, $38 billion were awarded in terms of real estate related contracts. So this includes all the public, this includes transportation and so on. And half of that amount is related only to commercial and residential buildings. And we are exactly focusing on this commercial and residential building segment, and where we just started to get on a transaction volume of about $1.9
billion Singapore dollars. And this is in terms of revenue. So how do we make money? So at the moment we make money through two sources. So one is subscription. So we have subscribers that pay $50 per month per project, per building, what they use. So this is one source of revenue. And the other source, and this is what we estimate later, the bigger source is advertisement. So advertisement comes, what I mentioned earlier, from the vendors. So basically, we give the vendors visibility, transparency to many projects, basically. So they don't have to know, basically, on the personal level, each and everyone as today. So they get the visibility, and this is where they basically compete with others. And this is basically making the whole marketplace then work through advertisements. And this is also where we just signed the very first contract with an advertisement agency for $200,000 every year to advertise for the vendors on the marketplace. So, and in terms of investment, so this is what we are looking for. So maybe, or I think most of you missed the opportunity last year where we went for the pre-seed round, where we basically got already 2 institutional investors on board and also an angel investor. So, and this was basically for the market entry in Singapore. And now we are looking at the seed funding round, basically to grow in Singapore, to also go to one more market in Thailand, as well as to develop the app further. And we have already got one signed term sheet from one VC from Germany, one other term sheet we are pending from one VC from Thailand. And this is basically also by Thailand this year on the roadmap. So this will be the next market, rating in a portfolio of 100 billion in Thailand. And this is how we basically big start in Thailand. And so this is now the invitation to any of you here, basically to come in with like a minimum of 300,000. And yeah. Thank you, Robert. Time is up at here the team. So this is the amazing team. Basically, this is the core team, but we have in Singapore 10 more people, as well as we have 6 developers in the Philippines and Vietnam, basically. So they are doing all the hard work, the coding. So any questions? Thank you.
Maybe you can explain a little bit more about your team.
Yeah, so thank you. Why not? So yeah, so myself, I spoke already about my experience, and then we have Jackie, our CTO, so he has built other platforms before, also basically kind of marketplaces, so he got this great experience. Then we got Nicholas, so Nicholas basically was before very strong in partnerships and events, and this is basically where I found him in the co-working space. So he basically comes from the industry of the real estate, so where he was in charge of getting clients, customers to the co-working spaces, and this is where he also brings in a network of people here to the team, and he is running that. And then we have Rachel, like our chief marketing officer, with her experience in basically running startups, mentoring startups also in the UK as well as in Singapore, but also basically building this brand. We see here basically working, making all these amazing icons and things, and also put like a proper marketing strategy in place, which we are now basically just waiting to kickstart and then go further in Singapore and abroad. And yeah, so here the team will then run further around the region, Southeast Asia, to Thailand next, Malaysia, as well as Australia. And here one highlight, which maybe I can still also mention. Yeah. So this is here what we just became part of, REACH. So REACH is part of the largest global real estate association based in the US. And they have one VC basically funded by this real estate association. So they have basically globally like a huge network of real estate professionals, real estate companies, and so on. And they push us now over the next 9 to 10 months through all their networks. There's just today, so Nicholas is now actually in Sydney on an event with the Macquarie Bank, where the bank invited 200, 300 of their customers in terms of real estate. And this is basically where we pitch and connect to more people in the industry and basically go further. So the target is in the next 10 months, 10x. So yeah, we will see where we reach there. And yeah, I got one more highlights, but maybe firstly some.
Let's first say that it's a purpose question. Yeah. Are there questions?
in that case, do your high tech.
So you have quite a bit of traction so far. How did you achieve that traction? And how long has this company been running?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mr. Rao. So in terms of traction, so this goes back basically to my experience here in Singapore. Basically, before I managed the real estate in Singapore, and this is basically where I also opened up the network in the industry, and this is basically also the value what I bring to the company, not only like the insight in terms of how the facility management, property management is done, but also knowing the people, knowing all the managing agents. And this is basically the door opener to onboard in a short period of time so many buildings, so many building managers, as well as their network in terms of vendors, suppliers. And but the second part of the question, so legally, so this company is founded just 1 year ago, but I started about 3.5 years ago with first research. So this research I started out of my work, what I did here in Singapore when I was not really pleased with the performance of the service provider that served me. And then basically I told the table, I said, look, I can try to help you. I can try to see what are the challenges what you have. And this is when I started to engage with one professor from NUS, from the National University of Singapore, with some students to go into these managing agents, real estate firms and research. So what are really what's the core problem what they have? And this is then how we define the solution and start to develop the solution. Like about 1.5 years ago, started with some development coding. Firstly, like on Microsoft SharePoint, like a very relatively low-tech kind of solution. And then we learned, oh, SharePoint is not really scalable. And then about 12 months ago, we started basically with our own Ruby on Rails. I'm not sure if you are some tech guys. So Ruby on Rails, for instance, Airbnb is using that technology to make it very responsive and just very user-friendly, which actually I can also quickly show you here. So these are just some screenshots from our platform where you see here some projects. Where project managers, facility managers just can see their portfolio. Then here this is how like a tender or RFP is created, and this is where you also see some ad space on top. So this is basically where vendors can pay and put themselves just in front of a facility manager and then see why they shouldn't engage with that vendor. And this is here like a screenshot where the facility manager can manage their vendors, so they don't have to keep like paper on the table with phone numbers. So they just go in here and create their own preferred vendor list. So basically, out of the 3,000 vendors, they just can favorite their preferred vendors still, and so that they always have just everything in one look and still can see some ads from some other vendors. So this is here like a dashboard. This is like always the first response we get from users. So what do you would like to have? It's always like a dashboard. So this is here where we give them a dashboard to see different tenders, are fees ongoing, what's the status, how much money was spent, how much is the budget. And lastly, we give them like here a high-level overview of their portfolio here in Singapore to see so what properties do we have, where something active or where something not active anymore. Yeah, so thank you.
Are there any questions? There's 2 more minutes for questions. No, online? Okay. Okay, then thank you very much, Jörg, for presenting really. This was the last speech for today, so give him extra loud applause. Thank you.
So I'd now like to invite Robin to the stage.
You need to give me like a minute or something.
Okay, so I'm going to do some stand-up comedy after them. I'm really bad at that. We have Peter that has just come in. Pretty sure you guys will have that. We'll be having beer as well. And I would actually encourage most of the founders here to look at everyone who hasn't pitched and just get to know them. And with everyone who has pitched, talk to them, figure out how they reach where they reach, and figure out if you can learn anything. We find that we can actually learn quite a bit from the founders that are on the startup as well. That's how we keep improving our platform. I'd also like to invite you to actually talk to Dennis. He has a demo station set up there. That's for you guys, both as customers and as investors. So Of course, all of these businesses have customers, so you can actually use these services as well. Maybe they're in a good mood today, so you might get a discount. I don't know. So Robin is still setting up. Actually, we've had quite a bit of okay, and station.
Yeah,
We've had quite a bit of participation online today as well. This was mainly post and our idea as well because of the coronavirus. We've had a few questions coming in. So to all of the founders, your pitches have been streamed on YouTube on the Startup Buddy YouTube channel. You can find them there at the end of the time as well. I have this question for you. And now Robin is going to talk to you about the startup.
So first I wanted to show you this. As Sharpuri was already explaining, all the pictures can be found on the Startup Buddy. I haven't had the time to favorite all of you guys, but you should be visible down here. So basically, everybody who's interested in one of the companies, go into these profiles, you'll find more information about the companies. You can favorite them, we'll put you in touch with the companies when you're interested, and we'll follow up from there. So I did want to show you this for a few seconds. Then I'm probably so first of all, thank you very much everybody for coming today. This was our first demo day as the Startup Buddy. When we started out, we weren't sure if we could actually do this, if we could have a full program, if we would have a location. We only started using Zoom a week ago, so I'm really happy that it actually worked. I haven't pitched myself. I was planning to pitch, but then the program got full and I scrapped myself. We will be raising for the Startup Buddy by the end of the year, but we're not going to raise the traditional way. As I already explained, we want to become a startup equity trading platform. So what that means is that when we want to IPO ourselves through our platform, meaning that by the end of the year, we hope to get licensed by MES to start trading through our platform and get payments through the platform as well. So it's going to be very similar to what you're used to on SGX or Dow Jones. If you're interested to follow that, please sign up as an investor, favorite us, and we'll keep you totally up to date. On top of that, we only launched the investor platform last November. We know there's a lot of stuff that can be improved, and we're working on that continuously. Really let us know what you like, what you don't like, what's missing, how it should be different, etc. Because we need that to actually make the platform better. Same for entrepreneurs. Everybody who pitched today, really thank you very, very, very much for daring to stand on this course and doing your pitch. I know that I think everybody got really nervous at the moment they got here on the stairs. So thank you for doing that. If you have other founders, other entrepreneurs that want to showcase their companies that need help, please tell them about Startup Buddy. Then I really need my paper because I'm really horrible at names. So then I need to thank a few people. First of all, of course, all the guys from Bounty. I'm not sure where everybody is. But thanks a lot to Lex, Desmond, Sky, and Ewan for helping us set this up today and giving us a location and supporting us with everything. Then a special thank you to Jesse and Johanna over there in the back. They've been helping you to come in safely, temperature screening, etc. They're actually from NUS. Jesse is graduating in 2 months. Yes, so you probably need a job, right? So if everybody has a job, go to her. NUS is the Entrepreneur Society of NUS University. We're actually doing a really cool project with them. NUS started a curriculum for students on entrepreneurship called Startathon. So it's done by NUS in collaboration with NES. And the Startup Buddy platform is actually used to support that and to help the students learn about entrepreneurship. Then finally, of course, I want to thank my own team. Everybody in the white shirts. So first of all, there in the back, we have Darvis. Darvis is our content developer. He is basically making sure that whatever you look at, that it's working, that it's okay. Then he's there in the booth. He's been managing everybody online. He's also my co-founder for the Startup Buddy. Sharply, you've seen quite a bit here on the stage. She is our COO. She also connects the startups to the investors in day-to-day work. And who you haven't seen is Sakshi Kumar, Sakshi Bhai. So Sakshi has been online helping the people online. She's based in India. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. We just got pizzas. We're going to get beers. Please stick around for the networking and please come again. Thank you.
Also be having demo days in the future. So if you guys have any founders that are interested to raise money for their companies, we would like to invite them to apply on the Startup Buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, online.